Go Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
So do we call this episode Thank You Hakst?
No.
No?
No, we already did that with Thank You Hakst.
I thought that was so great. Why wouldn't we follow it up again? You've got a great movie.
Oh, Adam.
Why not have the sequel?
You're being a real hack right now.
Hakst, sir. That is the correct terminology.
Quit stalling.
Oh. Hey, Steve,
how many of you have turned it off already?
Steve, I have a cue for you.
Okay.
Who do you think will take over?
Oh, jeez. Well, no one's available is the thing. Oh, jeez, Rick. Rick, I don't know. I don't think anyone... This is Morty. They just fired a guy there, Morty. He was on the Blackhawks. What a bunch of rings.
I was wondering if rising out of the ashes like a phoenix, Peter Horacek might swoop in.
Can you imagine?
That would be so... I feel bad for him because he took over the Leafs at literally their worst moment, and this is the worst Blackhawks moment probably since they made the playoffs with Taves and Kane when they were kids. Like when they were first, that season before. Remember they were terrible with Taves and Kane for a little bit?
You're talking about Horacek taking over the Blackhawks?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the Flyers would be a challenge for him.
Sorry, why am I saying... No, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Colton's gone too.
Wow, I'm confused. But yeah, even the Flyers.
News breaking during the show. You didn't even know
I'm an idiot. I meant the Flyers. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah. No,
it's been a long day.
I mean, the Flyers can pay him. And I think they'd be smart too. They're one of... I'm trying to think back to all the way back before the first lockout. Well, no, it'd be the second lockout, I guess. The first full season lockout, 04-05. There were, I want to say the top 4 spending teams in the NHL, or top 5. I want to say the Rangers, the Leafs, the Red Wings... I think the Canucks were in there somewhere, and the Flyers. The Flyers were one of a few teams who, oh my God, it was like $70 million or something like that. And they ended up making the salary cap 45. How did any team that was above the cap not finish last?
Just compliance buyouts everywhere.
It was ridiculous. No wonder the Leafs were so bad.
Yeah.
They friggin' went all in. And then the lockout happened. Of course they
and then they did nothing to react to the new reality.
Dick all. They added.
They added, yeah.
They added.
No, I wondered about...
You know what they did the next year? They added again. Sorry.
Yeah, that was lockout 2 of 3.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's the middle lockout. That's Empire Strikes Back.
In the near future, we will get World War Lockout 3.
Oh.
Ironically, the best one.
Ironically.
You see?
Was the second Star Wars the best one?
That's what everyone says.
In terms of writing and production and whatever, the first scene alone took 6 months to film.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It was just it was such a marvel for the time.
It's too many months.
Many months.
Not a DC, more of a Marvel.
Jesse. Wow, you've also had a long day. Jesse's feeling a little punchy.
I don't know if we need to do a show today.
Are you feeling not good about where this is going?
Yeah, the coffee's bad.
So, okay, we know that Ron Hextall was let go, or at least this is what's been reported widely.
No, Ron Hextall was let go. Dave Hakstol
was fired.
Yes.
Okay. So Ron, but I said let go. But hang on. The reason Hextall was let go was because he didn't want to fire Hakstol.
I interrupted you. I shouldn't have. See? We should have just gone.
You podcasted me. Just wait 5 minutes, and we'll finish. We'll figure it out.
My bad.
No, and the reason. So
the sorcerer is. Sorry.
So you have to feel bad for Hakstol because over the last 2 weeks he's known. And then yesterday, a reporter, and I forgive me, I forget her name, from SB Nation, I believe it was, she broke the story.
Stephanie Driver?
That's what it was. That sounds right.
Cool. I'm going to make sure it's right. Steph Driver.
She reports, she's the first one to report that Hakstol will be fired after the game, which filtered through to him. He heard about that. The players heard about that. And it blew up on Philly Sports Radio. It blew up on all the blogs. It blew up on TV.
And which cab did he take?
So they do the show. They do the game. It doesn't even matter the outcome of the game. And what was interesting was we heard, because that story broke, so there was some explosions within the Flyers organization. People super pissed about the fact that information got out there. How could that information get out there? How many people knew about this? And you got to think, okay, if you're letting somebody go, That's a very serious thing.
Yeah,
Even
their plans took a left turn after Driver's tweet.
Oh.
Wow, Jesse, that's so bad. But you got to think, very few people would know about that, right? Very few people are going to know about that. So the Flyers are now trying to figure out, A, how do we introduce Joel Quenneville and sort of make this a surprise? And B, we still have a coach. We still haven't fired the coach.
Okay, so she fully had a source, but she could have just made that up and been right. We all know Hakstol's getting fired.
Yeah, but she nailed when.
Yeah.
And
She did nail
And
when.
it was going to be after the game.
She was right.
But they didn't announce it till this afternoon, apparently because she'd tweeted it out. That was the interesting part. They delayed the reaction because it was like, oh, no, we will not do it on your schedule, reporter, even though that was our schedule. We're going to do it on another schedule. So we're going to make him wait 24 more hours, which makes me feel even worse for Hakstol because it's like, he's coming into work this morning. It's a Monday when we're recording this. He knows. He knows. So is he just hanging out in his office until they call him, hey, Dave, we'd like to call you up and we've got some sandwiches up in the boardroom. Would you like to come hang out? Guys from Comcast are here.
Does
It'll
the
be a fun
sandwich
time.
have a goalie in it for crying out loud?
Right? Well, and so
Just
that was,
fire me.
if Joel Quenneville is the guy, because as of right now, it's not been confirmed yet.
No, I think
if-
it makes all kinds of sense.
If Quenneville is the guy, if you're Joel Quenneville, do you not put in your contract that my performance is not, you cannot start to evaluate my performance until you get me a goalie? I'd be like, this doesn't count, no countsies until you get me a goalie. Get me a damn goalie.
I mean, he can ask for whatever he wants. I don't know what his provisions are, because doesn't he get the $6 million he's owed by Chicago, like, regardless? I think so.
Yes,
like,
he does.
could probably
But the
ask for more
Flyers,
than that.
the Flyers would
Something like that.
The Flyers might be able to for the next 2 seasons pay him like $3 million, and then the Blackhawks have to pay the other $3 million. But then after that too, I'm sure if you're Quenneville, you're going, it's a 5-year deal, and you're paying me as much as I was making.
See, that's a real interesting power structure, because he's going to come in and probably have his own demands, and he deserves them. Like,
Yeah.
very few coaches really deserve it. He deserves it. A lot of coaches should be consulted. He should be, like, active in the planning of the team. And I think he maybe saw some of the writing on the wall with the Blackhawks, which is why he was so mad at the draft a few years ago. But then you got Chuck Fletcher, who's basically come in, and he's new to the job in Philly. And there's obviously, it's just balls of fire all around him. It's a terrible situation. And also, he was brought in to listen to ownership. Hakstol wanted to do his own thing. So I'm already seeing a bit of a problem here where the GM is sort of going to get pulled this way and that. And I wonder how much power Chuck Fletcher actually has.
Chuck Fletcher survived a
with the
long
Flyers.
time in Minnesota playing just that game.
He survived a long time in Minnesota, and they won. What was the number that we came
Probably
up with?
a playoff.
2 series wins?
Yeah.
In
But they
11
always
years?
made it. Always made the playoffs. Always got
Oh,
those
yeah,
those 2
hell
home
yeah.
dates. Well, and
to be the late 90s Leafs. Like,
and Carter Hart was called up today. And that was the other thing that Ron Hextall wouldn't do. He wanted to be, and that's the thing with goalies, is most of them need, like, most goalies don't really establish themselves to what? If they're going to be any good, 22, 23?
22, 23, I think is pretty young. Alexander Georgiev of the New York Rangers, he was their, I want to say he was their backup by necessity. I don't know if he made it out of camp. I can't remember. Former viewer of Joining the Rush, Alexander Georgiev. He was the youngest goalie in the NHL to start the season at 22. 22 point something years old. And not to be the starter. It's extremely rare to have a goalie like Marc-Andre Fleury, who they're like, will he sink or swim? He sank because the Penguins were terrible. Carey Price even had his growing pains.
Man, there were years where people were like, Yaroslav Halak's the real goalie here. I remember that.
Yep.
I remember them being like, we're riding Halak into the playoffs. Which Boston is saying, we're riding Halak into the playoffs this year, probably, maybe.
Matt Murray looks the way a goalie Matt Murray's age should look.
Right,
These
after
days.
2 cups.
Yeah, after 2 cups, though. How ridiculous is that?
Like, Matt Murray doesn't need to do anything anymore.
I got this from Gregory I apologize. Balak? I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
Oh boy, that sounds like a complicated name to pronounce, Steve. I was expecting something very Greek.
Could be Balach.
Like
I don't know.
a really long Greek name.
Gregory Balakopoulos. As I maintained all weekend on Sportsnet 650, I don't think it matters if Carter Hart is developing in the AHL or NHL, as long as he's seeing regular action. LV, I guess that's Lehigh Valley, wasn't offering him much defensive support either, so the argument that this move will ruin him doesn't work for me. It's interesting, but do you think if he's struggling, the Flyers are going to be like, all right, we're playing Carter Hart every night? I just don't see it.
Especially for a team that wants to win. I think I understand what he's saying there, but I think that's the wrong approach, and I think the Leafs are a perfect example of an organization that's done that time and time and time again. Of like, get them the ice time at the NHL level, we suck anyway. And it's ruined players.
Not necessarily with goalies, but yeah.
But you look at a guy like and I hate to use this as an example, Luke Schenn.
Yeah,
there's a guy.
I wonder what he could have been.
He could have, if they had worked on his skating and they had stuck him with the Marlies, or was it even the Marlies at that point? Was it the Roadrunners or whatever?
It was recently the Marlies.
It was the Marlies, yeah.
Recently.
And that was 10 years ago. You kind of think like that's a guy that played really well with the Leafs, but never got better after that.
Luke
and
Schenn
I think
was a decade ago.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the situation, you kind of go, okay.
And the game steadily changed as well. So
the reason the Leafs left Mitch Marner in the minors, the reason they made sure that William Nylander didn't make the team in Babcock's first year, even though William Nylander probably would have been their number 2 center even then, because they were so bad.
Yeah.
Because he was that skilled. And Kasperi Kapanen should have been on that team this Leafs team last season. They made those guys work at it, and now they come up and like Kasperi Kapanen. This is his first full season in the NHL, and he's going to score 30 goals. He's on pace for it.
It's a little different.
When you bring a goalie, ask any guy that's jumped from the AHL to the NHL, and I've had these conversations before. They'll tell you it's different. They'll tell you the shots are different. They sting more. They're faster. The players are better. It's just a different world. And
that's
I wonder
when
if
the conversation of heavy shot comes in.
Yeah,
I don't actually understand what that means. No one's explained it.
But like,
it's not faster. It's heavier.
There's not many shots in the AHL that I'd be like, wow, that's intimidating. But like Shea Weber's shot. You get a clear Shea Weber shot or one that's deflected, that's scary.
Man, you know what I watched for the first time in a while the other day? It was a slow-mo gif of that Chara shot in Game 7 that went up and hit Morgan Riley in the face. You imagine getting hit in the face by a Zdeno Chara shot?
No, I mean,
and
I said
coming back
but
into
no.
the game and not just going straight to bed?
That'd be the end of it for me.
Fun fact about Luke Schenn. This year, he played his first game in the AHL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He went straight from the Kelowna Rockets to the Leafs, and then he stuck around the NHL, and this year, finally, the Ducks sent him down to the AHL for his first stint ever.
Wow.
Luke Schenn, everybody.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what Carter Hart can do. I don't know if it's going to work out, man. In a way, Carter Hart's lucky because of all the goalies to have been put in this position. I think he's one of the luckier ones.
He's probably readiest for it.
I don't know about readiest, but the Flyers are not a terrible team.
No.
They have flaws. I look at their group of forwards, at least on paper, and I look at their group of D, at least on paper, and I go, what is the giant chasm between them and the Leafs? I still like the Leafs more.
I think goaltending.
It's goaltending, man. They can't get a save. Like that game...
it's like Winnipeg
that
2 years ago.
game against the Leafs Flyers Hockey Night in Canada, that was brutal. Like, poor Calvin Pickard, man. And the Flyers defense was atrocious that game. But you need a save every now and then, and Pickard just couldn't give it to him. And Alex Lyon hasn't been able to give it to him. And Anthony Stolarz looked all right at first and wasn't able to give it to him. And Neuwirth wasn't with the team, and Elliott wasn't with the team. And holy smokes.
Mm-hmm. I think, too, like, you look at the Flyers, and I don't see... the Jets is the team that I really compare them to, because the Jets, the year that the Jets drafted second, were essentially the same Jets that you see right now, plus Patrick Laine and goaltending. And that was it. Like, they just could not get a save. And you wrote an article with Berkshire that year about how Paul Maurice had never had a goaltender above, 906 in a season in save percentage?
No, that was the average, I think. Like, his average was far below the career, or Yada yada yada. Paul Maurice never had a good goalie,
Right.
And like he got maybe 3 good seasons out of 15 or something like that. And so Connor Hellebuck last season was hands down the best goalie he ever had.
Well,
and look at that, he went to the conference final.
Totally. And I look at the Flyers, and they're first off, the Flyers have to decide what they're going to be this year, because we know they're going to be a good team next year. We know they are.
I think this is them figuring that out once and for all.
For sure. I wonder what the direction, because to me they just scream Winnipeg. Like if Winnipeg, this is hard to imagine, but
Winnipeg pre-Line.
Imagine Winnipeg pre-Line was current Winnipeg.
Or I guess pre-Hellebuck.
Well, yeah, but imagine Winnipeg without
Hellebuck.
without Line, okay? Yeah. And they got goaltending. Would they be? I know Patrick Line is great. He's amazing. But would they be that much different?
Yeah,
would they not be would they not be a dominant NHL team? Because I think they would.
It's similar to the Leafs. You can take a forward or two out of the lineup, and they'll survive it. That's their strength, right? That's what makes Winnipeg special, I think. And then the defense is good, and the goaltending so far has been average, but last year it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Flyers need a save. They need a save in the worst way. And Fletcher, I mean, as a new GM,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how much pressure he's getting from ownership in this decision, but if you're the new guy, I mean, you're going to want to evaluate everyone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Carter Hart,
is it the time to evaluate a 20-year-old, though, at the NHL level?
I mean, when the organization is in this much flux,
they're out of ideas.
I think it's ownership.
I account it to bringing up Vladdy last year with the Jays. It's a waste of time if the team isn't going anywhere. Why don't you let him stay in the minors and do his thing there?
What are the standings right now? Like,
they're
how
last,
far out
if
are
you're
they?
asking.
Are they?
Yeah, last in the East.
No.
And that's what I mean about the Flyers need to decide what they're going to be this year, because
are the Flyers and Blackhawks last in their respective conferences?
28 points. They're 1 point back of New Jersey, who's got 29 and is in second last in the East. And in the West, last place is held by the Los Angeles Kings.
See, if I'm Philadelphia...
Oh, it's LA again. Congrats, Chicago.
If I'm Philadelphia, man, the best thing that you can do right now is ride your terrible goaltending and trade Wayne Simmons and get as much as you can.
They are in a good position to sell.
Phenomenal position to sell, and I would sell.
Can you do both? Like, let Carter Hart play the rest of the season?
Well, totally. But my point is that, like, think about this year. Imagine the Flyers get Jack Hughes.
They're amazing. I think
they get Jack Hughes and a goaltender, because you've got Wayne Simmons making what, $5.5 million. That comes off the thing.
Oh, even less. His contract is absurd.
It's amazing.
So good.
He comes off the books.
He's going to make $7
They've
million
got time, and they've got the money, and they've got the resources. Like, literally, all the Flyers have to do is go, we want Jack Hughes. We'll trade away the rest of our picks for a goaltender that can. And if Carter Hart proves himself, maybe you're like, you want to parachute him in with somebody. Like, maybe you call someone about I don't know who you would call about a goaltender, but you find somebody who can be the goaltender who plays 40 games along with Carter Hart for the next couple of years before Carter Hart's ready to be the guy.
In a way, like, what if Hart has a rough go? Like, is it really going to ruin him forever?
No, I don't think so. As long as they don't put the pressure on him, it's all in how how they contextualize it to him in his mind.
That's impossible.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's possible.
What do you mean?
He's coming in. Is there a
But that's a coach's job, right?
How many like goalies straight out of junior playing in like other teams' organizations have we even heard of? Like, not many. Like, you'll hear about them at the World Juniors.
Everybody's too afraid to talk about them.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Nobody talks about them anymore. Like, I think everybody, you know what it was? It's Justin Pogge syndrome.
A little bit.
Everybody talked about how great Justin Pogge was going to be for the Leafs, and how the Leafs had 2 great goaltending prospects, and didn't matter that they traded one to Raycroft because they got the other one.
Yeah.
Chet Pickard, Calvin's brother, first-round pick.
Exactly.
Who remembers that? Or first or early second?
And then Pierre Maguire famously going, "What a terrible pick for who?
Carey Price."
Exactly. Because nobody knows.
And literally exploding, saying Dustin Tokarski at the World Juniors. Yeah, so like goalies there's a reason people call them voodoo. It's a bit of a lazy thing to say, but they're very difficult to evaluate, and they take some time. Mm-hmm. They take some time.
And Brian Elliott wasn't even that bad when he was playing. It's just,
so what is his deal? What's going on?
He just has a weird injury. Nobody knows what's wrong with him. He left. He was on this road trip that they were on here in Canada, I'm pretty sure. It was a Canadian road trip. Anyways, he was on it, and then he left on, I think it was Thursday, to go back to Philly and do some evaluations, and they didn't reveal what happened that he had to go back. So nobody really knows what his time, because they're hoping he'd be back on the road trip, and then now he got sent back to go do some more evaluations, so nobody really knows what time he's going to be back. But he had a 9-11 save percentage while he was playing, which is
this
passable,
season is absolutely passable.
Their overall team save percentage is .876.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So, yeah.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my!
So
How have
if you
they
get-
won a game?
If you get competent goaltending, which Brian Elliott seemed to be doing.
Wait, he's 9-11, which
Yeah.
means
The
the
rest
rest
of
of
the
the team
team.
is worse than 876? You're not serious.
Yeah, 100%. Those are the stats.
Okay, that's why they called up Carter Hart.
Well,
because
yeah.
why not?
Yeah, because why not? Try 'em.
Maroon.
I'm trying to figure something out here.
Yeah.
I'm on Cap Friendly. How do I look for free agents? There it is. Found it. Okay.
Found it.
So here's what we're going to do. Free agents 2018, 2019, descending. And let's look at goaltenders.
Here, Jesse's brought this up. Why does it only show 3 guys?
Those are the guys who played.
No, more guys have played
Oh,
than
but-
this.
yeah.
Well, anyway. Oh, poor Anthony
Oh, boy.
Stolarz. He's an 880. Michael Neuwirth was 719 in 2 games, granted. Yeah, Elliott looks like a Vezina candidate. Yo, he has a shutout.
Yeah.
Hey, pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, so the free agent
agents.
class of goaltenders this year is, just to give you an idea of how bad it is, your top 2 choices are, wait, is this 18-19? Nah, I'm looking at the wrong year. I was like, oh, geez, that's terrible.
Boo!
Yeah, I know. Let me check that again. Because next year will be 19-20, you see.
You see?
You got
All right.
Bobrovsky.
There we go.
You got Varlamov. You got Jimmy Howard. Mike Smith's in there. Cam Talbot. I forgot Cam Talbot was up. That's good for Edmonton. They can re-sign Koskinen with that money. Brian Elliott, Michael Neuwirth, Nilsson. Koskinen's up, obviously. Ryan Miller, Chad Johnson, Robin Lehner, Peter Mrazek, Michael Hutchinson. You know, not
There's
mind-blowing.
names available, but
There are guys.
There are guys.
There
Well,
are warm bodies.
Curtis McElhinney.
hey,
I mean, why not Curtis
Yo,
McElhinney?
McElhinney's gonna make like $3 million.
It's amazing. He's going to make so much money he'll never have to work again.
The price has gone up, and
But
that-
Bobrovsky, you got to think Flyers would be in on Bobrovsky.
No,
It's going to be Flyers Islanders.
Here's how it works, Flyers fans. I want to show you that I understand your suffering. Here's how that works. They drafted Bobrovsky.
They traded him.
Had him, traded him. He won a couple Vezinas. They're going to sign him in free agency to too much money, and he'll be bad. That's how it's going to go, because that's how it goes. You can see it written on the wall. I mean, it might not end that way. Or, you know what you could do for freezies and see if Carter Hart's all right.
Well, that's what they're doing.
The option these days, I think, is see what you got internally. That's what the Coyotes are doing right now with Antti Ranta.
I'm looking at Bobrovsky. He has like 2 good seasons on and 1 good season off, and I think this is his good season off, as in it's a bad season.
So next year,
His save percentage is a .901 right now. Oh. He's making $7.425 million. Sorry, his cap hit is 7.425. The actual dollars is 6.2, but his cap's $7.5 million. How much of a raise, and I know he's expecting one, how much of a raise is Bobrovsky going to get on the open market if that's the performance he's putting in?
there's a lot of really, really strange contracts coming up where you don't pay for. I think teams are starting to figure out you don't pay for past performance. And Karlsson is a fascinating deal. Erik Karlsson's deal coming up. Bobrovsky's is a fascinating deal. Varlamov's is a fascinating deal. I mean, Karlsson's still a great player, obviously. Goalies are so weird.
Oh, man.
Because
Cam
if
Talbot's on that list as well.
Cam
Yeah.
Talbot's on that list as well.
Yeah.
And
he
that's
has
a wild
an
card.
894 save percentage.
Wild cards still make $4 or $5 million. Scott Darling, big old wild card. And Carolina, I think we probably praised that move at the time. Like, well, if there's a team that should take a chance on the guy, it was Carolina. Well, it hasn't worked out, has it?
You know who? If I'm Philly on a low risk option, guy that's performed really well this year, Jimmy Howard. He's 34. If he can, he's got a .922 save percentage. Let's say Jimmy Howard for the next 2 years is a .915.
Yeah,
is
someone's
that
gonna
not
get
the
him at the
perfect
deadline.
guy to play 40 games and Carter Hart plays say 42?
Or
because
you
he's
put
34
Carter
years
Hart
old.
in the American League and have him play 60-65.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it
I
depends
think-
on what you have in Carter Hart. I agree. And maybe sign some defensive help for Lehigh Valley. Because how do you not have good defense in the AHL if you can help it?
Yeah.
That's a good team. They gave the Marlies all sorts of trouble last year, didn't they? In the playoffs?
Lehigh Valley, I'm trying to... No,
The
they swept them.
Oh, okay, never mind.
They
They
swept-
gave
no,
the Marlies no trouble
The
last year.
Stars were crazy trouble.
They were.
They
Absolutely.
were
How
really...
old was Matt Murray in his Cup season? The 15, 16?
22.
I think he was 20. I think he's 22 now.
Jesus.
He's
I
20,
know.
He's 24 right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
No.
He's
So that's 3 years
24.
ago. So he was 21.
15, 16. Yeah. So
What were
24,
you doing
yeah.
at 21?
Not winning. Cups.
Drinking.
No. Drinking.
Sorry.
Drinking.
Well, he was too, just after he won the cup.
You know where people can find out what you're doing at 21?
Where, Jesse?
In your new book.
Hey.
This team is ruining my life, but I love them. Available in stores internationally, March 19th, 2019.
Also, I should mention Budweiser Selly season, folks. Keep sending in those Sellies.
All right, listen, we got one promo in. You
No,
wait.
we're getting the Budweiser Selly promo in there, bud.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
Get yourself in and listed. Tag at Budweiser Canada. Tag Steve Dangle. Tag Jesse Blake. Tag me, Adam Wild. Make sure you send us your favorite Sellies. Just, you know what? When Carter Hart wins his first game, because he will, because it's rookie luck, you have to. I want to see his Selly. Send me his Selly. And Jesse's going to knock over a light here. You didn't see that, but it almost happened.
Also, when he wins his first game, don't get too excited. I'll tell you why. You know who won their first game and then never won another NHL game? Justin Pogge.
Whoa.
Justin Pogge's only win. I know this. I watched the game at Justin Fisher's house.
Did you believe, by the way, after he won his first?
There was one like crazy off the line save. I think he beat the Atlanta Thrashers 4-2, and they had him up in 6 or 7 more games, and he never won another one.
Not even a real team.
Justin Pogge had a career, man. Won his first game, never won another one. Was the first player, I believe, ever called up directly from the ECHL to the NHL because the Ducks didn't have an AHL team
Oh, my God.
that year. Yeah,
He was Ducks property for a while?
Yeah, the Leafs traded him there for like a conditional, like 6th or something like
So
that.
they're Corbinian
The Leafs
Holzer deal.
love trading with the Ducks. It's their favorite thing.
Even general managers.
Yeah, you think they love like speedy players, like young, small, speedy players. No, they don't love that half as much as menial trades with the Ducks
And Frederick Anderson,
and Frederick Anderson.
which was a big
All
one.
trades. Big ones, medium ones, little ones.
Head coaches, general managers,
Head
it's all been
coaches.
traded.
The Leafs have traded more with the San Diego Gulls than most NHL teams.
That's true, eh? They do have a...
They gave him Jonas Enroth, Eric Fair.
And Eric Fair is an NHLer. I always wonder about that. Are we going to look back on the Eric
He
Fair
should
stuff?
have been the 4th line center last year.
Was it a cap thing? Because he was making like $3 million or something?
I think it was. There was something like when they got rid of Eric Fair and signed Roman Polak, it was like an identical cap hit almost.
Yeah.
Something weird.
What a pointless move
I mean,
that
you
was.
could have also just not signed Dominic Moore. I don't know, whatever.
Or not signed Roman Polak.
or that.
Coulda not
great
not done
idea,
that.
Adam. Great idea.
I see, I follow a few Dallas Stars fans that listen to the show and just seeing their reactions to Roman Polak, and it's like the identical.
Oh, yeah.
No one doesn't like Roman Polak. It's just, I don't particularly love the way he plays hockey.
He's also fun.
He's
like,
the
he
best.
scored 2 goals this year, and like they were both beautiful. Like,
He's got a shot, man.
I've told people this for years, and I get laughed at every time. I'm telling you.
You know what he would... If you're one of those teams that really believes in size over speed, Roman Polak could be a great 4th line winger.
Put
Like, why
Roman
wouldn't you do
Polak-
that?
The Flyers should acquire Roman Polak and make him grow a beard, and then like put him under a cup, and put Radko Gudas under a cup, and then have like a blank cup, and then that'll be the game. They shuffle him around, and you got to
What
figure
about
out which
Gritty?
one's which.
Gritty under a cup, too.
Gritty's under the blank cup. You're right. Yeah, you
gotta
got to
find
figure
Gritty.
out which bearded player is which.
I am so happy they didn't do some sort of fake, Gritty's the next head coach.
The
And they have-
Flyers?
Yeah. And
No,
they trot him
no.
out there with a whistle, and I'm so happy that didn't happen.
No.
I was afraid for half of them, like, are they going to do a Gritty
They're
job?
not
That would be
gonna-
in poor taste.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
But didn't. So thank
Early
God.
in the season, Flyers fans were like, you know what? We're game for this.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Gritty. Let's bring him on. They reluctantly had fun
Yes.
without beating someone up or throwing snowballs at Santa Claus or whatever it is that they did. Batteries at the Pope. I can't remember. But now, I don't think they're in a mood to joke. I think they're pissed.
Yeah, do you
Man,
get the
last
sense
in
the
the
Flyers
East.
fans may be a little on edge?
Yeah.
Even Gritty can't help that.
Last in the East, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I
also feel like there's a lot of flux in the standings.
Oh yeah, it's still
so early.
relatively early.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hella early. It's not. No, I think the Flyers. Just to wrap up that conversation, the Flyers now need to decide what they are. Like you bring in, I know they want to win now, and I know that they know that they're good, and they are good. Nobody can look at that lineup and go, "There's not talent there." There's a ton of talent there. What I would say is take not.
They're in
You
perfect.
can't tell competitive people to take a season off, but take a fucking season off. Go get a really high draft pick. Go find a goaltender this summer, and then come back.
They're in perfect retool position.
Totally.
I think. Their older guys are mostly in their prime. They got a few like Voraceks and Gostisbeheres who are like still like I don't know, early prime. Something like that. You got JVR who's like older. Provorov's young. Patrick's young. Carter Hart's a wild card, obviously, and you hope he's good down the line. But if
Would you
you
say
add,
he's a Carter of Hearts?
oh,
Like
Adam,
a card?
no, I wouldn't
No?
add that joke to my card.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't have the heart to tell you though. Oh, you see, because God, what a great episode.
By the way,
Sorry, yes.
just since we're on the Flyers, or to close out the Flyers, Vancouver beat them last night, and Vancouver looks so good.
Vancouver is fun.
Yeah.
They sure
They
are.
are, man, when you're not sure what to do, go
young and
young
fast.
and
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Yep.
The Habs, holy shit.
Jersey last
The
season.
Canucks, holy shit.
If
The
New Jersey
Devils-
could get a save, they would be.
And it's so unfair.
Off the top of your head, or take a guess, what is Elias Pettersson's shooting percentage?
Isn't it up in like 20% or something?
I'm going to say 27.
I'm going to say 22.
He has 17 goals, and his shooting percentage is 27.
I nailed it!
27,
No way!
27.9.
Wow.
I got it.
We're not wrong.
I got it.
We'll use decimal
Can I just
point.
say
You
this
get
to
it.
Canucks
Wow.
fans?
Isn't that crazy?
I just want to say,
I went like
Canucks
that.
fans,
Oh,
you deserve this.
Yeah.
You've
Oh,
had
yeah.
the worst consistently bad team for the last 4 years.
More than that.
what a
Well, Phil
strange...
said, remember he came in and he said on the last 4 years they have the worst record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve this.
And they were so sick for so long.
So long.
And it's funny because we were calling it all the way back when like Chris was on the show. We're like, this is the beginning of the end. You know this, right? And he was like, I know.
Well, it started with the Tortorella hiring.
We were
which-
all just,
what?
oh.
It's disappointing because you always hope when you have that long run of being good that you get one in there. Like you just get one cup win and they couldn't do it.
And not
So,
just being good, like being elite.
Oh,
like
yeah.
every year.
2 President's trophies in 3 years. It was.
Oh,
They were the
man.
Lightning.
Yeah.
They
They
were
were-
the every year you're the standard. And then, maybe a couple teams finish ahead of you. And they had the 2 President's trophies, the final appearance. Man, no, and sorry, I'm not going to turn the knife. This was meant to be a nice segment for you. No, they're doing great, and they're doing it the right way. Should we give some credit to Bim Jennings?
Yeah. Well, for drafting. Listen,
This
Bim
trades.
Jennings is going to be in huge shit when Besser
Leva.
and Pettersson and all those guys come up, and he's got $8 million committed to Beagle and Roussel and good Branson.
Yeah.
That's 12. That's 11 or 12 million dollars right there on those 3
Haven't
guys.
Beagle and Roussel been out with like a big old bunch of injuries or whatever? And I want to see them make the playoffs.
I do too.
I wanna see playoff
But I just think
Pettersson.
they're going to be in tell Jim Benning, if I'm ownership, if I'm Francisco Aquilini, first off, I don't live tweet games. Second, I say, Jim, put your phone down on July 1st.
When was the last time
Stop.
we heard from Bim Jennings?
Nothing.
But
He
Louis
stopped
Erickson,
talking. He stopped talking.
And they won games. Again, I am right in my analysis.
Louis Erickson has $6 million till 2022.
Oh, that was a bad deal.
Edler's got $5 million at the end of the year. That expires.
Scored a
thank
goal
God.
yesterday, didn't he?
He
you
did.
want to talk about a cap crunch? Vancouver, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Well.
No, it's coming.
Yeah, but they have guys who will get easier and easier to get rid of as time goes on, I think.
Yeah, is Louis Erickson going to get easier to get rid of? Is Beagle going to get easier
He
to
might
get
be
rid
easier to buy out. Something along
This
those
is my
lines.
point, man.
No, well, they might expire. I don't know. I'm not. Listen, those are the sins of the past, right? And they.
You mean the sins of the current regime?
No. Yes, absolutely. But what they have done in recent memory.
Jim Benning's a great drafter. We knew that.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
The contracts, it's like, man, put it away.
Yeah.
One of those teams that should have like several GMs. You know what I mean?
Well,
okay,
yeah,
you handle drafting.
Yeah.
You handle
Well, it's
cap.
like the Jays had like a dual GM thing with Pat Gillick and Paul Beeston. Paul Beeston, and when the Jays were winning, the championship, Paul Beeston handled the business. Pat Gillick handled the players. That's how they did it. Jim Benning needs to sort of do that, except he only handles drafting, so he should be head scout. And
man, a lot of scouts get promoted.
I know. I just don't put the phone down, man.
Hey.
Also, looking at the Flyers quickly here, I wanted to mention this because I didn't get a chance to fully wrap. Their estimated salary expenditure this year is $79 million with potential performance bonuses in excess of $4 million. However, not everybody's going to reach those. Next year, the Flyers only have $51 million committed. And the year after that, it goes down to $32 million. So you're talking about a $40 million drop in the next 18 months?
So you're talking about a
they
team
got
that's
money, baby.
Already all right. And next year they have an option of maybe going young and fast if they get a few saves.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
They have some people to re-sign, like Travis Sanheim is up. I believe Gostisbehere. No, he's got his extension. Provorov's up. Sanheim's up.
Yeah, some of that money's accounted for sure.
Travis Konechny is up.
That's a tough one.
That's going to be, yeah. But like you got Jordan Wheel, Michael Raffle, Scott Lawton, Wayne Simmons, and Yori Laterra. That's a contract that's killing him, I think. $4.7
Yeah, but didn't they
million.
get a first out of it or something like that?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, anyway.
Hey, there was a watch bomb today while we were on the topic of like GMs and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think it's worth mentioning. The Indiana Pacers are hiring longtime WNBA executive Kelly Croxpuff.
Did you just read
Kelly.
this? Did you just read this?
No. I just still don't know how to say it. Crosskopf. There you go. As the first female assistant general manager in NBA history, league sources tell ESPN.
Amazing. Love it.
Crosskopf.
Love it.
What you? I think you said Crocs at one point.
Kelly Tupecht.
There you go.
Kelly Tupecht, for sure.
That was great news.
I Tupecht to her.
So there was a lot of news today, and a lot of it was off the ice. And, of course, Leafs Twitter is on fire. Every day there's a new fire. Today's fire, which was later put out a little bit by Kyle Dubas, was Paul Marner. Paul Marner, father of Mitch Marner. Now, this is an article out of The Athletic by Jonas Siegel. I want to direct you to that. I am going to read some quotes from it. But I definitely want you to, give Jonas his credit and his clicks
reading
and his
stuff behind the paywall, you piece of garbage. Sorry.
I saw a lot of people screenshotting it and sharing it too, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. What's the etiquette on that?
No, there's this guy who like screen grabs like 75% of an Athletic article and then posts it on Reddit, and then when he gets his account suspended, he's like, "What did I do?" Like, man, you stole. Like,
Yeah.
it's behind a paywall. Yeah, but I don't believe in that. Okay.
Well, you're paying it.
Walk into a jewelry store and just take a necklace.
I don't believe in paying.
I don't believe in that. Like,
That's so stupid.
what's the matter with you? Come on. Yeah, Paul Marner. I'm excited to hear these quotes because I was doing too much today, and this was one of the things that I wanted to save for the show.
If you have The Athletic and you read the article, nice videos of Marner working out in there. He does this thing where he jumps up on a brick and he's holding another tube and he jumps up on one leg and then he has to balance and he has a water vest on his chest. It's very impressive.
Now I'm gonna read it because I want to see my lovely boy Mitch.
Yeah, it looks great on the iPhone as well. The app.
There you go.
Amazing.
Look at that. See, we've given the Athletics.
Is that enough?
Are they
Well,
greasing you for this?
No, now we can go ahead and read some of it.
Yeah. And by the way, the subscription's like $3 a month.
Yeah,
How freaking
also
cheap
do
are
that.
you?
Listen, I'm not saying that.
So
They
Paul
don't,
Marner,
they don't pay me.
We have heard whispers. I'll just be honest. We've heard whispers for years that Paul Marner can be a bombastic character.
Like, who's
I don't know if that's
this
a whisper.
news to?
That's like
Yeah.
a freaking.
That's
That's
a
from a
shout.
megaphone. Yeah.
You know, I heard Paul Marner is a bit of a pain in the ass. Like,
Yeah. And I'm gonna go out on a limb And at the end of this, and I'm going to have a take that is not necessarily going to be very popular and may come back to bite me, but I have one.
Never.
And I want to read these things to you, and I want to get your opinion on them. So first off, this lit Twitter on fire, but we're going to start midway through the article where Jonas writes this. Jonas Siegel, that is. Let's start by saying that Paul Marner doesn't totally buy all that, as in Mitch Marner is a surprise. He thinks Mitch, the second of his two sons, have been overlooked his entire hockey playing life. Yes, Mitch liked to have fun around the rink, liked to laugh, even dance, but that didn't mean he wasn't driven to reach incredible heights or that he wasn't, in fact, a star. And it's about time the Toronto media realized it. So this is what Mitch's dad says. This is a direct quote. I'll be honest with you. It drives our family nuts when we hear all you guys talk about who should be the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Mitch never hardly gets any consideration. It's because he's like this happy-go-lucky kid, but he championed the London Knights to the Memorial Cup with that same happy personality. I watched a guy like Doug Gilmour who had a ton of joy on and off the ice, but he was a real competitor, and that's Mitch. Mitch has always had that killer instinct when the puck drops, but I've also told him, and his mom's told him, one of the things that will make you who you are is the love you show for the game. Never stop having fun at the game, because when you do, that's going to take away something that's made you who you are. That part right there, it was the captaincy part that people hyper-focused on. So hearing that, what are your thoughts? And Jesse, I want yours too.
I think Paul Marner was a little aggressive there, and, he's a hockey parent. And, I'll just take out the word hockey. He's a parent. Yeah, He's a parent. They're protective of their kids. He's being honest and candid.
Which we rarely get.
Which I appreciate. It's a bit of a pain in the ass for the Leafs, but I definitely appreciate it. I think the whole premise was kind of bullshit, to be honest. Like, what was the first part of that?
Which part? The fact that the Toronto media doesn't recognize Mitch Marner?
He's a surprise?
He's not.
Who's surprised by this? What? Kyprios, for all he gets criticized for, heading into the season with Tavares in the middle, was saying Mitch Marner, like, that contract's going to be crazy because he could contend for a scoring title. Now he's contending for a scoring title.
It was Darren Dreger that first floated the $10 million a year figure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too because
4th overall pick.
However,
what?
In Paul Marner's
Rags
defense,
the richest story. What the fuck?
So they make the case in the article.
And we'll get to it.
So they go through the fact that in his draft year going from I guess it would be what's lower than the OHL? From major, junior, or whatever it's called, to the OHL.
Oh, like GTHL?
GTHL. He's picked 3rd overall, even though he led that league in scoring. And then he goes from
he's picked 3rd overall.
And then he goes from the Knights to the NHL, and everyone's talking about McDavid and Eichel. And then he goes from the Leafs, leading the team in scoring. Everyone's talking about Matthews and Tavares and Nylander. And he feels like...
Because Marner wouldn't have led the team in scoring if Matthews was healthy.
But
anyway, sorry, continue.
Like he deserves that extra spot where McDavid is and Eichel is. And
he's not there yet. And there's no question about that. And
they feel like
we'll get to that.
He should be. He's gonna be there, and he should be there.
Yeah, Eichel's another guy who was, if he weren't injured, would have outscored him.
Hold on.
Eichel's the best 30-goal scorer who's never scored 30 goals.
Based on that quote right there.
But he will.
All I hear is a father that believes in his kid.
And that's wonderful. And that's wonderful. But it sounds a little bit like, those people who have to believe that the world is against them to motivate themselves?
Kyle Lowry.
Marcus Stroman.
Oh, my God. Boy, the world could not be more in Marcus Stroman's favor. And he
Everyone.
still thinks the haters, people are out to get me. I'm like, who?
Oh, my God.
And DJ Khaled, too. They don't want us to have this. Who doesn't? We all love you, man. What is it? Who doesn't like DJ Khaled? Like, I don't... He's like
people
one of those
on
likable
Snapchat?
guys. Yeah.
Mr. Khaled, I don't know what you're talking about. Height doesn't measure heart, but it does in this case because Marner is 6 feet tall, and that's how oh my God. So, Marner's parents been getting a lot of press.
So anyway, that's the first quote. So let's keep going here, okay?
So that's relatively benign, though. Like that's not the biggest quote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's going to be more.
Paul still remembers one night during the OHL playoffs, March 31st, 2015. Jonas did his homework.
Yep.
When Mitch hit the scoreboard 6 times in a big win over Kitchener. McDavid had only a single assist against Sarnia, but guess who Sportsnet was talking about afterwards? Hold on, quote. And in any other draft, if Connor's not there, you would have been talking about Mitch as a first overall pick.
So this has been driving Paul Marner nuts for...
since Mitch was 4.
Yes, because that... Did you see the picture I tweeted of Marner when he was 7 years old?
No.
Because we met... You were there when I took that picture. We met someone who used to coach him when he was 7.
Yes.
And the picture is of the person who we were speaking to, their nephew, stoning Mitch on a breakaway. Stoning Mitch. He was 7 years old. Children. Like he looks like a little tyke. He looks like a Lego figure. But anyway, he was 7 years old. This goalie stops him. The defenseman corrals the puck, takes it the other way. That defenseman, by the way, was Travis Dermott.
Oh, yeah?
Passes the puck
That's cool.
to Connor McDavid, who scores. And I think it ended up being the game-winning goal. And Connor McDavid celebrates with Travis Dermott and also on his team, Sam Bennett.
Not bad.
It's unbelievable, like the stuff that happens at the high levels of hockey, even at 7 years old. So Mitch Marner has been playing directly against Connor McDavid since... What year was Mitch Marner 7?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Decades!
Yeah.
Decades. Why not Connor? That's how it works, unfortunately. And I understand where Paul's coming from. I absolutely understand. And it's a bit of a hockey hipster thing. And, you know, Marner was expected to go 4th overall. What's the Nelly song?
I am number 1.
2 is not a winner. And 3, nobody remembers. What do they say about number 4? Nothing.
Didn't even make the song.
Didn't even get in the song.
Didn't play the Super Bowl, that's for sure.
You know, how many
right?
6 or 7 point games go unnoticed in the OHL every year? It's Connor McDavid.
Also, many 6 or 7 point games go unnoticed in the OHL every year.
And
every year.
I'm so glad the Leafs have Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
But that game, you said, was March 31st, prior to the draft lottery. Every team in the country, except for, didn't one team? No. Wasn't that the year all 7 teams missed the playoffs? All 7 Canadian teams.
Oh, yeah.
Every team in this country had a shot at Connor McDavid. On March 31st, that's all they had eyes on. Mm-hmm. Then when the Leafs got the 4th overall pick, they're like, well, what about this Dylan Strome and Mitch Marner fellow?
Yeah.
But until McDavid was the best player available. Sorry. So who's arguing that Marner's better than McDavid? Maybe his dad, which is fair. But March, that is, of course, it was all Connor McDavid watch. And a lot of people complained about it. All right, stop clicking it. It was a gold mine. People couldn't get enough.
And you look at who was drafted later in that draft. Was that not the Sebastian Aho draft and the Mikko Rantanen draft?
It was a really good draft.
Like a really solid top 10. Unbelievable.
Do you have the Paul Marner quote from that time?
From which?
I have it here of when he was playing Connor.
Bring it up.
He says, it's funny, I listened to all the experts on Leafs Lunch or TSN
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever,
I've got that one, yeah.
And
Go.
some people are shocked about what Mitch is or who he is, Paul Marner said.
Stop
But in his
listening.
whole life, he's either been the best player in his age group or one of the top 2 or 3. Everywhere he's been. When he played a year up, him and Connor were probably the 2 best players in the OMHA, that's what I was thinking of, and the GTHL, against each other. And then Mitch went to the GTHL and was probably the best player on his team playing a year up. And then he just didn't grow up, and that's all anyone could see. It drove us nuts.
The whole...
You began your little rant by saying this is probably driving him nuts, and he says it. He
Yeah,
says it right
it's
there.
been driving him nuts his entire life.
Since he was 4.
Here's the thing, and we won't get... I encourage you to read the rest of the article because really, we've kind of... You get the idea, right? You get the idea of what he's saying. He's talking about Leafs Lunch. He's talking about TSN and Sportsnet and what they're running. And Paul Marner has a couple things happening. First, he's very proud of his son. Second,
wonderful.
He's a bombastic character. Everybody that I know that knows anything about Paul Marner...
Can't relate.
That guy is a passionate dude.
Great.
Okay?
Good.
Third, Paul Marner, no fault of his own, most people don't, has no understanding of why media does what it does, why it runs the story that it runs. Steve, you had a perfect example. March 31st, 2015. What was happening?
It was Connor watch.
It was Connor watch. 7 Canadian teams missed the playoffs. Connor McDavid watch.
Why did Oilers fans freak out the day of the draft lottery? Holy shit, we got Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Why did the Sabres tank? Why did 4 teams finish below the last place Leafs the next year?
Right.
Because they were all actively tanking. They wanted Connor McDavid. And there was that was a perfect year to tank. Because if you didn't get McDavid, there was a slew of great consolation prizes.
Sure.
But they were consolation prizes.
And
everyone wanted Connor.
Can I just be honest? Connor McDavid is still the best player in that draft by a country mile. It's not even close.
Yeah, I can't believe you even have to say that. Look, here, I got something to point out. So here's before you get into that, Steve, I want to finish my point. My point is this. This has now taken on a life of its own and plays on the anxiety of Leaf fans. And they've lost 4 of 5. It's an off day.
So, and then you've got the Matthews and Marner deals coming up, which I know they're talking about them. We know they're talking to Matthews. The Marner camp's like, we're going to wait till the end of the season. Like hell you are. If the Leafs
Dubas
offer you $80 million,
today,
the Leafs say, hey, you know what? We'll give you $80 million. You're signing the fucking contract.
Yeah.
But
not going to give him $80 million.
My point in all of this is Paul Marner is going to... There's no question about this. Paul Marner is a guy that kind of likes the spotlight a little bit, kind of protective of his son. Paul Marner is a guy who's passionate. Paul Marner is a guy who, when this contract is not signed soon enough for Leafs fans, is going to become the Michael Nylander next summer. He's going to be the guy. Oh, the father is interfering.
Well, except Michael Nylander, weren't there?
We didn't hear anything from Michael Nylander.
Yeah, I don't remember any quotes.
It was just a bunch of people who were like, it must be Michael Nylander. We don't know. And my point in saying it is this: do not hate Paul Marner for this.
No.
If he comes out and he goes, fuck the Leafs and my son should make $15 million and all the bombastic shitty things that you could say where Mitch is probably calling him going, Dad, shut up, put down your phone, then I get it. But you can't look at these quotes and go, that's more than a guy who's just proud of his son. Regardless of what you've heard through rumors in the GTHL and the OMHL and the OHL, wherever Mitch played before, his father is a protective guy. He's going to be excitable. And that's just how he is. And I look at it and go, I know this is an unpopular take, but Leafs fans, your anxiety is showing big time. Relax.
Yeah.
You have him under contract. Do you really give a fuck what Paul Marner said? Who cares?
They've lost 4 of 5.
Who cares?
It was an off day after the 4th loss in 5 games.
Credit The Athletic for a perfectly timed article.
Oh my goodness. And it's the perfect restless time of year. Is there a more restless time of year?
And right now, no, because then rosters freeze soon and teams are in flux and nothing's
I just
confirmed.
mean in life, we're stressed
out,
off
we're tired.
for the holiday.
Yeah.
My wife comes home stressed every day because the kids, she's a kindergarten teacher, they're just bloody feral because they all know Christmas is coming and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And
don't hate Paul Marner for this.
I won't, but I will. I do need to point something out. And he doesn't have a verified Twitter, so I can't verify that this is him. However, there's a Paul Marner Twitter account. And this is a tweet.
He blocked third period ghosts, by the way, or third period Suits.
Oh, did he?
Because I believe Suits got at him about something.
Well,
because, I mean, everybody kind of knows.
There's a guy named Arjun, @_ Marlanderthews. And he goes, I wonder if Marner's dad likes Mike Babcock. And so I wish people would understand, we can see your likes. So there's Gary's Percent. There's his Twitter account that tweeted, May 9th, Mike Babcock will last longer in Toronto than at least one of Austin Matthews, Marner, or Nylander. ODog9 says 20%. Hayes 65%, Jamie McLennan 6. Basically, they did like a poll.
Yeah, and who cares? Because that's just
liked
random.
it.
Like I've done sports talk radio, man. I've done radio for 12 years. That's just filler content, man. Yeah. There's nothing in that.
And he liked this from Corporal Matthews. Missing Mitch Marner from the shootout. Height 5'3", weight 98 pounds. Last seen breaking every goalie in the NHL's ankles. If you find him, please point him out to the infallible Mike Babcock. Paul, you got to be smarter than that, man. Like if that's your account. You got to be smarter
also,
than that.
Don't follow the
Well,
What did you just whisper?
yeah.
I'm not going there. I don't want to go. I don't want to start a Twitter war.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen. It doesn't matter who it was tweeted from. Don't like that sort of thing if you're the parent of a Leaf.
Not for the Twitter
What's wrong
account.
with you?
Well, that's the point, right? Like, it's a...
You want a ring or not? How many more times are going to scream this into a mic? You got your Memorial Cup ring. You like it? You got your OHL ring. You like it? You want another one? Knock it off.
Yeah. You want your family name on the Stanley Cup?
Do you want to hear the quote from Marner from the Athletic article? It says, "I want to win a cup." Marner responded, "There was no I want to score 50 goals. I want to lead the team in scoring. It was I want to bring a cup to Toronto."
This is the thing about Mitch Marner.
believe.
I've never heard a bad thing.
No.
Not a single bad thing.
Not a single thing.
Just seems like a gem. And listen, it's all out of love. It's hard to fault him.
I can't.
I can fault him.
I can see how he'd be frustrating to work with, but that's not my job.
But you got to knock it off. You
Yeah,
got to
he
knock
does.
it off. Frustrating to work with and talented. It's amazing how often people... It just blurs the talent.
Well, and Paul's
It's
got to realize
amazing.
too, and I don't know if he's crossed this line or not. But Paul has to realize as a parent that this is not your life. This is your child's life,
Yeah.
and your child's an adult, not a child anymore.
Yep.
You should not. He should not be talking to the press. Period. End of story. Just shouldn't be talking unless it's a feel-good story, like Matthew's parents, and when you talk to them in that way, fine. I just don't think that it does Mitch any favors. And also, when you're liking tweets like the Corporal Matthews one you brought up, regardless of what the Twitter account's general content is, I think even the guy that runs Corporal Matthews, if Paul Marner was liking my tweets, I'd be like, Paul, stop. I have a show. Don't like my tweets, man. Like, you can't. Don't.
I've
like
had people
media
like my
tweets.
tweets, and I've messaged them and been like,
Unlike that.
For your own good,
Because
that.
it's not what Corporal Matthews does. It's not an insult at that account. It's that Paul is aligning himself with people who are fans. And I get that. And I get that you can have some of those same opinions.
You're liking
but dude,
a tweet,
don't do it publicly.
You're liking a tweet where the basis of the tweet is Babcock's a stooge. Do you think that's smart? Like, I get that you're hot under the collar, man. Man, there's YouTube videos of, like, breathing exercises. You
Yeah.
can do anything. Go for a walk. Go do anything but that.
Yoga. Meditation. Anything.
McNuggets. I don't care if it's healthy or unhealthy.
His wife seems like a blast. Go tell some jokes.
Go learn the floss. Are you as good at flossing as her? Have a floss competition. Go order a pizza and then do the floss.
True.
Floss while you eat pizza. Live your best life, Paul. Don't be mad. Be glad. Your son's Mitch Marner.
Paul, you never have to work again, man. You're
My
good.
parents are proud of me, but I think they'd be more proud if they had Mitch Marner.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
Let's be honest. I mean, who wouldn't rather have a pro athlete making millions of dollars?
Yeah.
I'm better than they expected. After I said, Mom and Dad, I want to make YouTube videos for a living.
Adam, you have a child coming up. Coming soon
Coming
to
soon.
a world near you.
It's a tease. Coming up in a few. We're gonna pay
Would
some
you
bills.
rather-
I haven't seen the trailer.
Would you rather
I
your
have
child
the trailer
be
on my phone.
a
What's it?
professional athlete or a YouTuber?
What's up, bros?
It really depends on what type of YouTuber.
Because you can make more money
Over the
being a
course of a lifetime, you
YouTuber
can.
than being a professional athlete.
The problem is with both careers, the douchebag to normal person ratio is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Man,
Like-
Mrs.
Like
Dangle and
it's 80-20 the douchebag.
In both,
yeah.
though. In both.
Oh yeah.
Like most athletes,
and- yeah.
sorry, man. Like maybe not at the NHL level, because I think at the NHL level now, especially, you got to be super focused. Like, you can never have a beer. Don't have that chocolate bar,
Yeah.
because you'll fall behind a half step and it'll lose you the Stanley Cup.
Which at times is a different level of douchebag.
Sure, because if you talk to any professional athlete, literally their whole life is that sport.
For
They-
15 years.
They can't
There's
have a
a reason
conversation about
Crosby's
hit
been the
music.
best.
They can't have a conversation about books unless they're hockey books. It's hockey, 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 hockey. They're sitting at the dinner table and you're having hot dogs and mac and cheese, and they're taking the hot dogs and cutting them into pucks, and they're flipping them around and going. Again, I was reading that Bill Walsh book I was telling you about. The Score Takes Care of Itself, and he was talking about a moment where he's got his hand around his wife's shoulder, and he starts subconsciously putting together an X's and O's play on her back, and then about 10 minutes in, she's like, honey, did you score a touchdown? Like, that's how psychotically devoted to that they are, which is fine. So yeah, hard question. I think I'm going to go with YouTuber. A, because you can make more money if you're good over a longer period of time, right? You're earning potential over a long period of time. Like an athlete, their career is 15 years if they're lucky.
Your odds of becoming a millionaire from pro athletics are
Steve,
better than your odds of becoming a millionaire off of YouTube.
Steve,
it's
my kid. So my kid should have been drafted number 1 in the YouTube rankings. No,
should have been on the year in review video.
And why wasn't he?
But I just think
BTS didn't make it, neither did my kid. It's crap.
I think you can carve out a living on YouTube a lot easier than you can for professional sports.
A living.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, but I want to be a bench player in the NBA making $4 million.
So do I. But I am too short
I want to be
a
left-handed situational pitcher.
Yeah.
Get to work every 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, we just threw $4 million at him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Get to work an inning.
Work
once
8
in a
minutes
while.
and then walk off. You have walk out music.
I walked him. You gotta take me out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sorry, guys.
Walked him. Give me my $8 million.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, you didn't even make the postseason roster. Oh, I made my money anyway.
Still get a ring.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
You get paid to eat sunflower seeds. Like,
long
Sit in
story
a
short.
Sonny.
Long story short, Paul had his moment. He said his piece. There is a drive in him that is very clearly passed on to Mitch. You got to be a competitive player to make it. Don't hate Paul Marner for this.
No.
Don't let it play on your... Hold on. Don't let it play on your anxieties for the upcoming contract negotiation. But if he goes further than this, then I understand. But also, Steve, to your point, maybe Paul, chill on the likes on Twitter, man.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how long ago that was, because the Leafs haven't had a shootout this year. So it must have been... Are you giving me a thumbs up?
No,
or are you
I was just scratching my
yourself?
underarm.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, what are you doing?
Just schwitzing.
Paul and Bonnie Marner are the reason we have Mitch Marner.
And that's great.
And that's great. So I like him. I like Paul Marner. You guys can hate him, but he gave me Mitch Marner, so I like him. I don't know, there's some things that I feel could be improved. I think the same thing about myself every day.
Steve.
Yes.
So William Nylander's, for the haters on Twitter, he's William Greedlander. What's Mitch Marner's greedy name? When he dares to ask for money that he's worth.
Money Marner.
Money Marner.
Money Marner.
Is it that easy? Mitch Money Marner?
Oh, the Leafs contract mituation.
No, like situation.
I like
The
Money Marner.
mituation.
But Money Marner actually sounds like, hey, he's clutch, right?
Oh,
Like his
yeah.
Greedlander's
Could be a good
negative,
thing.
right? It's like, oh, he's greedy.
I just took it from Money Mayweather.
I like
That's what
Money Marner.
But
Money made Marner.
Money
No.
May Marner. Money May Marner.
Come on, man.
Mitch Money May Marner?
Yeah. Connor McMarner. Listen.
Connor McMartin.
Listen.
Imagine Mitch Marner's new contract. Leafs also have to acknowledge that Connor McDavid is less good than Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner should have gone number 1 overall.
Yeah, I'm
Written
sorry. If
into
the Leafs
the
had the number 1 pick in that draft, they wouldn't have drafted Mitch Marner.
Leafs?
No.
Oh.
And there are 30 other NHL teams that would have done the
They had
exact
the
same
second
thing.
pick. They wouldn't have picked Mitch Marner.
No.
They had the third. They might have.
Who did go second?
Jack Eichel.
Oh, that's
Kinda good.
Yeah. Good player.
Great player. Decent player.
Not Mitch Marner, though.
No.
Not that Money Marner.
Yo, can you imagine? Okay, when Brian Burke had the 2 and 3 to draft Henrik and Daniel, which was solid, amazing. What amazing results! Imagine in any of those drafts, you have the 2 and 3 pick.
Oh, it's so rare.
Like, holy crap! Can you
Dude,
imagine?
Boston a few years ago, like Jake DeBrusk was a Leaf killer in the playoffs, and a couple of those guys looked like they might be all right. But you look at who they could have had with those picks. Barzal. Imagine Barzal on this Bruins team.
It would be unfair. But that you know what? The Bruins did a smart thing back then when they retooled at the right time.
They did.
Because
Yes.
trading Lucic
Yeah.
was not easy, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly what happened with Martin Jones, but they had him for like 5 minutes, remember? And then they traded
flipped him to San Jose because
Yeah.
LA wouldn't trade him to San Jose.
Oh, I think that was it.
Doug Wilson,
Yeah.
king of the the triangle trades.
Yeah,
1,
he
2,
loves
3.
it. He loves it. So I wouldn't. Still not a giant fan of the picks Boston made that day, but you're right. They did retool at the right time.
And then they spent that money on Backes, which I don't think they should have.
Well, he's one of those guys who's overpaid, but at least there.
He's comparable. He's played. Now,
Yeah.
what's interesting about... Oh, sorry, Jesse. Were you
No, I agree with Backus. At least he's a warm body on the ice.
He's a plur.
If I remember that clip from the playoffs last year where Shanahan was
you,
like,
Backus.
"Fuck you,
Yeah,
Backus, piece of shit."
That was an all-timer.
I'm like, yeah, Shanny's still got that competitive fire.
And that was the day.
Piece of shit.
Oh my God.
But he did it in a frustrated way, like his lips curled around his teeth.
You could tell he wanted to be out there, just ram into the boards.
Oh, if Shanahan was still playing, he'd be fighting Backus like every shift. Oh my God.
It's too bad Shanny was never a Leaf. I think he would have been he'd be on Legends Row.
100%.
he might get there.
Backus, there's
He
a
might
guy.
still be there.
He might
yeah.
get there in a suit.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, holding a cup.
Dubas and his glasses and Shanny with that one streak of silver. I hope they include that in the bronze statue, by the way. You know that one streak of silver in his hair? It's good. It's handsome.
Listen.
And then next to them is Paul Marner liking things on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Corporal Matthews somewhere else tweeting. just
Bonnie
down the
Marner
street.
flossing.
So Luke Fox, strangely enough today, and I wondered if this was on purpose. I don't know. I don't know how this works, and I'd probably have to text Luke or CJ to find out. But Marner article drops today, and it just so happens that later in the day, Dubas talks to the press, which we don't get a lot.
No, we don't.
So Luke Fox has written a very good article.
They don't always give warning for that, eh?
They don't. And that was, I wondered if that was, I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Well, I was at Marley's practice one day when they were doing their 2016 Calder Cup run. And there was more media there than usual. I was like, oh, that's strange.
Did someone complain about not getting into the locker room?
Yeah, you bet, Jesse.
And then
It's
bang
okay,
on the
just a
door.
photo.
Yeah,
I don't think they were there actually, but on this particular day. But I'm standing. I'm talking to someone, sort of in the tunnel before the ice, and I see there's a crowd gathered like in front of the Marley's backdrop, and everyone's got their recorders out. Who's that giving an info? Oh shit, that's Dubas.
Wow.
And I didn't know. And I'd been there already for like half an hour, so I ran in.
Didn't you ask for, back in the day when he was the AGM, didn't you ask, back in the day, like 6 months ago, but a couple years ago, didn't you ask for an interview for him or something at the Marlies practice, and he like answered a question for you, and like you were some sort of open house thing that you were at?
No, it wasn't an open house thing. I went to Marley's practice when it was at the MasterCard Center, which was rare.
And it was like he wasn't talking or something like that.
I wanted to ask him questions about Tyler Wong, who the Marlies had signed to like an ATO or a PTO. And
Tyler Wong.
He just gave me what was in the press release. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's in the press release. And he's like, that's all I got.
Wow.
Times have changed. He seems a lot more loose.
Yeah.
And especially since the Nylander thing.
And he's not the boss anymore, right? Or sorry, Lou's not the boss anymore.
Right, yeah, I was about to say, now he's the boss.
That Paul Marner article doesn't see the light of day if Lou Lamoriello is the GM, I don't think. But I think
it does. It's just more interesting.
Ooh, boy.
Tyler Wong, by the way, played 3 games for the Marlies.
It's a good thing you were there asking questions.
Good deep reference on Tyler
Wong. Do you not feel bad for the person that had to write the press release for Tyler Wong signing a PTO? Like, wow, I am definitely not wasting my time today.
No, because March is like the Marlies PR person's like heyday, because that's when the team carries like 60 players.
Yeah.
And you're just this guy got a PTO, that guy got an ATO, this guy got called up, this guy, oh my God.
It's Pato month.
Yeah.
Pato.
There was during that run, there were like 2 or 3 groups skating. Like the Marlies would practice. Then there'd be like a second group, and there were a few kids there looking for autographs, and this one like really short guy walks by. I'm like, oh, who's that kid? They look underdressed. Oh, that's Jeremy Bracco. So that was when he was still in junior, and like his season was done or whatever. Paul, win a cup in Toronto, buddy.
So Dubas talks.
Kyle Dubas. So let me just pull this up here. So the first takeaway and you should read Luke Fox's articles at sportsnet.ca.
Always.
He said, Dubas will not go shopping for physicality. there is a concern, the Maple Leafs, a group that comparatively eschews penalties for body checking. The lack of sandpaper on the roster, it's going to be tough for them to survive a grueling playoff run where whistles tend to get tucked away, which is true.
Yeah.
Dubas said that in constructing his roster, now free of rugged characters like Matt Martin, Leo Komarov, and Roman Polak, he looks at it as his Atlantic Division rivals first. And here's what Dubas had to say. For whatever reason, that takes on a life of its own. The whole toughness question. I look at Tampa Bay. They're 8 or 9 points ahead of us now, and they built their team that way. I understand it's at every level, whether it's been Sault Ste. Marie or the Marlies. It's been the same question. I don't buy it myself. I know there are a lot of pundits that say you have to have it, toughness that is, but I look at teams that have had success, and I don't think bringing in one person is going to change our culture, and it's not going to have us carry on, and it's not going to have us carry on with the process we've started. We want to have skill, we want to be fast, we want to be competitive. I don't really think that the way the league is going, that having someone that could come in and fight. Sorry, the computer mouse keeps moving this, so I keep fucking up. I don't really think with the way the league is going, that having someone come in and fight or anything like that is going to change anything. We've got a way that we want to play, and we're just going to carry on with that. In the end, people will judge whether it's effective. Which sounds about right.
Yeah. And I just want to throw this out there. Luke Fox, one of the hardest writers in the business. He was writing an article between games at the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic. He basically donated his time and raised money for a great cause and was writing articles between games.
Still in his hockey pants.
Yep.
He's a guy that you should follow. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should. His quick shifts articles are great.
Yeah, really good.
Great.
And
really actually,
good. Underrated.
Our talk with him earlier this season was great too.
Yeah, we did an episode. So if you want to listen, I think it's just called Luke Fox. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super complicated and creative.
So this next quote, I was like, vindication. This is my vindication quote. This is where it was like, for once, I might have had a good take. We might have had a good take, and I can prove it because Dubas backed us up. He said, the Steve Dangle podcast said this, and I agree. No, he didn't say that.
I wanted him to.
We're talking about offer sheets. This is important. Can you pay attention to this?
Jesse's put his coffee in my coffee, and I don't know why.
Okay, well...
I had a lot of extra coffee, so I thought I'd give Steve some.
Wow.
But we could have just done that without acknowledging it.
We could have.
But it's a strange thing to do, you see.
Just thought I'd share the love. I'm sorry. Next time I will keep all the coffee and throw it in the garbage.
Good.
That's what you'd rather have, apparently.
I'm gonna sub-like you. That's what Paul Marter did. He didn't subtweet, he sub-liked.
He sub-liked? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so...
That was a necessary conversation.
It was.
Yeah.
People enjoyed it.
Sure needed it.
People are like, it was a good idea that I listened to this today. Adam?
Driver left turn.
Offer sheets.
That was a reference to what I said before.
At the disco.
What was it? Like, chuck your dick at the...
I left out the dick part in the title.
Yeah.
But yes.
I'm glad you did that.
That was a pro move. Yeah, you did that.
That's probably a good idea. Dubas spends 0% of his time worrying about offer sheets. Now, if you remember in the last show, we said, hey, yes, the Leafs have 2 notable RFAs. Actually, you could say 3 because Kapanen's included in that.
Totally.
Matthews, Marner, Kapanen. And then what was striking me as strange, and I said this on the last episode, but if you missed it, it struck me as strange that everybody who has a real voice within the hockey media was saying, well, there are 12 to 15 guys who are superstars. You can imagine, Patrick Laine, Charlie McAvoy, a few other people that have huge, Travis Sanheim, Ivan Provorov. All these guys are RFAs this summer.
It's huge
names.
Big
and
year.
what I said to you guys...
And it's going to be super disappointing because I don't think any of them are getting
Exactly.
moved.
What I said to you guys is, okay, so if there are 15 legitimate stars that are coming up as RFAs this year,
Sure.
12 to 15 of them, how many teams are going to have money to spend on someone else's RFA?
All of them.
Like, how is that even going to happen? That's not possible.
No, some team is going to get Marner and Matthews and also Provorov and Rantanen.
So here's what Kyle Dubas said about it. I look around the league right now, and for whatever reason, it seems like the Toronto Maple Leafs are the only team that's going to be the target of an offer sheet. It seems interesting to me, but there's about a third of teams in the league that have very highly talented, pending, restricted free agents, and some of them have more than one, as we do. I just mentioned Philadelphia. That's another one.
Sure did.
Our salary situation is set up so that we could defend any of those threats with no worry at all. I know that they've become a huge topic of late, but I spend 0% of my time having to worry about any of that. Dubas said he intends to sign Matthews and Marner as soon as possible, wishing to avoid a repeat of the Nylander-Highwire Act. He said, we continue to work away with them. It will be our intention that well before July 1st, we have an agreement with both players that will be here long term. One way or another, we're going to get to that point.
Sign Matthews first.
Yeah.
But I wonder...
Matthews two-pecked.
Matthews two-pecked. If you're Matthews, I think you maybe want Marner to sign first because you have to make more than him. But I think that's why the Leafs should do everything they can to sign Matthews first.
Yeah.
Because Marner, he can't. He just can't sign for more.
No.
He can't do it. Hey, to Dubas' point, / Adam Wild's point, mostly Adam's point,
Yeah, it was mine first.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
about other RFAs. Mikko Rantanen. If I just looked this up. If his assists were his only points, he'd be 13th in NHL scoring. The guy he would kick out of 13th place is Gabriel Landeskog, who's on his line. He leads the league with 56 points. Number 2 is Nathan MacKinnon with 52, his line mate. Number 3 is Connor McDavid, 49. He's 7 points ahead of third right now. 15 goals, 41 assists, 56 points in 33 games. That guy is going to get a lot of money.
You want me to name some more guys?
Please do.
Patrick Laine.
Ah!
Braden Point. Timo Meier.
Hold on. Braden Point, according to Jeff Merrick, the best player?
Second best.
Second best player in the NHL right now.
No, on the Lightning.
Oh, on the Lightning.
Second best player on the Lightning.
Braden
right?
Point?
Yes.
He was the first person I heard say, who would you rather have, Braden Point or Mitch Marner?
Paul Marner said Braden Point. No, he didn't.
Jeff said Braden
I'd
Point.
rather have him as a son. No,
Jeff said Braden
I'm
Point.
joking, Paul. It's a joke.
Timo
He's
Meier.
not listening.
Timo Meier. Matthew Tkachuk. William Karlsson. Kyle Connor. Jake Gensel. Sebastian Aho. Brock Besser.
Jesus.
Travis Konechny, already said him. Anthony Duclair. Mitch Marner. Oh, there's Mitch Marner. Anyways, there's a lot of guys. Cody Ceci. Zach Werenski. Keep going. Kevin Fiala.
Yeah.
There's a few interesting ones on there. He's an interesting one.
Besser's going to get a deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's
And
an
whatever he
interesting
makes,
one.
Pettersson's going to be like, I need about $2 million more.
Luckily,
maybe $5 million more.
I think isn't he in the first year of 3, Pettersson?
Pettersson? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
rookie, yeah.
thank
Calder.
goodness. Oh yeah. Whatever all the bonuses are, he's going to get all of those. Yeah, forever and ever.
Anyways, it's ridiculous.
Jake Gardiner is a key part, but not a top priority. This is from Kyle Dubas.
Is that
He
how
said-
he worded it?
Here's how Kyle Dubas said it. We would like Gardner to be here. It's not as simple as it sounds. You only have a certain amount that you can divvy up, and it's trying to make all that work and keep our team on the right path moving forward. He went on to say basically that Jake knows that, and they've been in communication, but he's basically like, if you're Kyle Dubas, and Kyle's not going to come out and say this, you're going, all right, Jake, sorry, but Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews come first. And if you're Jake Gardiner and you're a rational human being, you go, I get it.
I think he gets
And
it.
Jake
I also
Gardner's-
think he wants to be a Leaf, eh?
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does. But I think he'll work from everything I've heard and from everything we've heard from behind the scenes. They're willing to come to the table with the Leafs to try to make it work.
Yeah, they're gonna need to listen. Everyone on this team is gonna have to take a little bit less than their open market value.
Yeah, I think they know that.
That's kind of how it works.
Well, and if you look at, didn't Sportsnet just do an article on John Tavares? And he's like, yeah, as soon as I got here, a bunch of people called me, and he's been doing Endy mattresses and some other endorsements. Like, the endorsements just fall in your lap. So if you're really, if
Rogers,
if you're
He's
missing
got a
out
Rogers
on,
one?
yeah, if you're like, say if you're Jake Gardiner and on the open market you're a $7 million defenseman. I don't know that he is. I don't know what his open market value is. It's always whatever somebody will pay. But let's say Jake Gardiner, puck moving defenseman, first line guy on most teams, is a $7 million defenseman. If Jake Gardiner is making 5.5, and he does 3 or 4 endorsements, he's basically made his money back. Plus, he doesn't have to pay escrow.
it's almost every player has something. Connor Brown.
Yeah,
Connor Brown had a commercial.
Has a commercial.
Has a commercial. Oh, is it still on?
Because he always used to go to play. What was it?
Oh, I can't remember. It's like where he gets his skates sharpened or something like that. Zach Hyman has his own like
Book?
e-gaming company, books. I think he does radio spots for Sokolov.
Yes,
Lawyers.
he does.
He does.
Him and Larry King.
So
Wendy Sokolov, Toronto, Ontario,
you're
Canada.
on the first line. Tell me about the grit.
Why are injury lawyers important?
Yeah, why? You tell me, Zach. It's a great place for an enterprising athlete. Remember Paramount Fine Foods, Nazem Kadri?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nazem Kadri, and I falafel. I falafel at the rink. I falafel at the gym. It's a play on words. He doesn't feel awful. He falafels.
By the way, Paramount is totally a company I would do an endorsement for.
They
are
a shout out them for taking over the Hershey Center naming rights. It's now the Paramount Fine Food Center in Mississauga.
Actually?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I think there's a fun nickname there. I don't know what it is, but if you're the Paramount Fine Food Center, you gotta have a nickname about food, right? Some sort of rap name. I don't know.
You know what I say to that name change?
Oh.
PFF.
Well, and
Fine Foods.
So I mean, with regards to Jake Gardiner, you kind of think, okay, well, they'll get to it. I don't think, and I think most people don't think he'll be back.
Well, I mean, because if he hits the open market, that guy can make $5 or $6 million. Well, a lot more than 5. Sorry.
Yeah,
at least 6.
And the Leafs did give him a pretty good deal the first time. Like under notice. This contract was signed under notice.
Well, that was and remember it was like the week Dubas became Leafs GM, and everyone's like, "Oh, it was the guy who's been here for 4 days." That's how they got the deal done. It was a very good deal. People were. It was the sort of deal where in the first year you're like, he might be a little overpaid,
But then the last few,
and it's turned out that way, guys. I know about him in his own end. He scored over 50 points last season. Defensemen who score over 50 points get $6 million for waking up in the morning. More than that. And this guy makes hair over 4.
and you laugh, like as Leaf fans, you laugh because you think, oh, well, I've seen him screw up against Boston, blah, 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 scratch my crotch, whatever. Because that's who it is. It's just a bunch of knuckle draggers who don't get it.
What? No,
It is.
listen.
It
This
is.
is a little
Then
aggressive,
call me a
Adam.
knuckle dragger because he pisses me off too.
Okay, is Jake Gardiner a frustrating player? Yes, but how many teams can't score a goal on the power play?
Well, and how about this? How many players
Come on.
make the mistakes that Jake Gardiner does without any of the upside?
That's the point.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're trying to say.
Is he a
Sorry,
flawed
Adam, I'm
individual?
trying to dig you out of the little. I'm trying to
How
be
is
a
that a
little.
wall?
No, you're just being very combative about it, is all.
I'm being Paul Marner about it.
Oh, you're sub-liking, except you're just straight up tweeting, Mike Babcock's a douche.
Listen, Jake Gardiner's a flawed individual. So am I. So am I. I am also flawed.
Wow.
Guess what? Not a perfect hockey player, and that's why he doesn't make $10 million. He'll make $6.5, $7 million.
That's a guy. Jake Gardner's
Fair?
been a Leaf for yes. Jake Gardner's been a Leaf for a very long time. Can you think of like any fan stories about Gardner?
Like,
What do you mean?
we
Like
mean,
just any stories? Like, hey, I met Jake Gardner and blah blah blah.
No.
Blah. I saw
Private.
like one on Reddit. And that was it.
and that's a trustworthy place.
No, and it was like, oh yeah, like we sat at the same table for a few minutes. Like that's it.
It's not something I'm really
Is that
concerned
something
about.
that you would post
No.
on Reddit?
No.
No, like I
Like
don't.
Jesse, if you sat with Jake Gardiner for like
Yeah.
you have a show, so it's different. But
Sure.
like, would you even bother telling your friends about it? You'd be like, oh, I ran into him at a thing,
I'd probably mention it. It would be a thing. though.
and
I
your
wouldn't
friends would probably be like,
broadcast-
oh,
I mean, they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." Then we move on.
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
No, I'm not paying attention.
surprise, defense is Dubas' targeted area of improvement. The GM pointed a finger at mediocre defensive zone breakout as a primary area he'd like to see get much better. Somewhere, Ian Tulloch is crying. Just tears of joy.
Oh my
Ian
goodness.
Graff, that is. Sorry, Mr. Graff.
Ian Graff.
Let us not forget his real name. Toronto has the 7th most giveaways across the NHL. Ugh. And leads the league in wins
Giveaways are such a trash stat, though.
In
the
Leeds-
way they're tracked, I don't trust the number.
and leads the league in wins while getting outshot, which is a much more fair. They have 14 wins while outshot. this
Even
year.
though, when it finally happened to them against Tampa, the world was coming down around them.
So
It's karma.
Dubas said this, some of that falls on our forwards to get open and available and on the defense to execute when open and available. It is an area where we can make great gains and continue to improve the club. If that isn't something that's happening as we get closer to the end of February, I think we'll certainly look to improve. Now, on that, I'm going to hold you on in a sec. Timothy Liljegren, we've been wondering for a while, when are we going to see him? Because Travis Dermott got a call up his third, I think it was his third.
I think second.
3 years after, is it second? Okay. So Timothy Liljegren apparently was on the Travis Dermott track. So we were going to see him towards, I would think February, March, April.
I feel like we sort of called at the beginning of the season.
Kyle Dubas says this. It's really unfortunate about his high ankle sprain because those are a pain in the ass, by the way.
Yeah, they take forever.
He'd been having an excellent season with the Marlies. First power play, first penalty kill, producing well. Regardless of the Sweden World Junior element, it's disappointing for us because he's a right shot defenseman and he moves the puck very well. We were looking for him to move in and challenge here this season. It is certainly understandable that he wants to push to play for Sweden at the World Juniors, but I don't know that that's going to be realistic. And
he's not going.
He's basically saying, listen, this is a guy that we thought would probably be Travis Dermott last season, come in and play 35 games for us.
Yeah, he's not.
I still think if they're thinking that, and somebody made a really great point about this, I think that wasn't, I mean, for us, we'll take that at face value, but I also think if you're Kyle Dubas and you say something like that, it's like, okay, listen, Timothy, we're holding you back from the World Juniors. I'm sorry, but I'm going to dangle this carrot, and this is a realistic carrot to dangle. You could be playing with the Toronto Maple Leafs by the end of the season. Forget Sweden.
NHL money.
Make your NHL money, get healthy in the next 4 weeks, play well when you come back, and then we can bring you up. Because guess what? We're full of holes. We need help.
It's so shitty for, like, the World Juniors is one of those things where your opportunity expires so fast.
Yeah.
Like I think it's his last year of
but
eligibility.
But he's played in it before.
Yeah.
But if you're a good player, you get one, and that's it.
Yeah. It's sometimes,
Sometimes two if you're exceptional.
Rare. Yeah, very rare.
But yeah.
Well, and if you're really good, then you make the NHL so you don't get to play.
Yeah.
Right.
you know, so it's a rare opportunity. It's a rare tournament to play in. Poor guy, but no, Adam, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's a great way of looking at it. You dangle the carrot.
And that's not my idea. Somebody else said that on Twitter. Sorry. If that was your idea, it was yours. I don't remember who you are. I see a lot of tweets every day, man. It's been a long one. But
he praised Rasmus Sandin.
He did. He said that he said this, and I was going to sort of and then he goes on to say, Tavares has been great, and it's too early to judge Nylander, so there's nothing new there. But what he does say about Rasmus Sandin is, even this past weekend, as guys get injured or guys go through their ebbs and flows with their effectiveness, he's kind of remained steady. For an 18-year-old, and for a late first-round pick, he's been outstanding, and he expects that Sandin will be an impact player at the World Juniors. But by the way, there's more to read in that article. We didn't just rip and read Luke's article. But it's important. We got to go through and talk about those quotes from both Marner and Dubas because it's like those are huge pieces of news. It's interesting that today was such a big news day for Leaf fans because there was no game. And I was thinking about it, we could be talking about a game, and we would spend less time on it than we're spending on this stuff. Isn't it funny?
I'm glad we're not spending that much time on the Florida game. It was a trash game.
Well, I mean...
Until the end.
It was fun.
It was a fun game.
It was fun at the end.
It was
hell of a time watching
And Mitch Marner? Wow.
Really good.
Wow.
Hey,
He
shoot that
shot
puck.
it.
Shoot that puck.
It was a miracle.
Twice?
Yeah.
In 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Real good. Tavares with the good screen.
And I gotta
Tavares
say,
with the good hard work and effort.
Barkov, good hockey player.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's the new, you know how the Selke is it's like the same 5 guys sort of rotate getting nominated for it? Yeah, no, it's just going to be Barkov and Barkov and Barkov. This year's winner, Barkov and Barkov and Barkov. He's the new Patrice Bergeron in a lot of ways.
Good way to put that.
Dude, and the whole Eastern bias thing, no, it doesn't just apply to the West. Like, Florida gets ignored.
Yeah.
It was wasn't it weird seeing the Panthers on national TV with that camera angle?
Sure, the Panthers thought so.
Yeah.
Man, and what a night to score your first hat trick.
Does Florida
picked a good one, Sasha?
Do Florida and San Jose have the worst angles in the NHL? San Jose, I don't mind.
Well,
but
San
some people hate
Jose's
it.
got the lighting too. Florida's lighting sucks too.
Why can't the lighting be good?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
an
know.
easy fix. Fix the lighting, guys. Come on.
It just looks a certain way. Not a fan.
Also, what is with the mid-'90s expansion teams building an arena out in the middle of nowhere? Every stinking one of them.
Sunrise.
All
Where's the Sharks?
Sunrise, The Corel Center, which is now the Canadian Tire, like the Sharks, I don't think is a very easy arena to get to. The Coyotes was never easy to get to, no matter where it's been.
Glendale.
Hurricanes.
Is Anaheim's a suburb? I mean, I know it's a city, but it's Anaheim, LA, right? That's how they have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
But they have Disneyland, Adam. How dare you?
What's that?
They have Disneyland, Adam. How dare you?
True.
Can't be a suburb. It can only be a place of magic and wonder.
I mean, if the city doesn't end, it goes Los Angeles to Anaheim, and really the only way you could tell is there's a sign. Like, you stop paying LA taxes here, you start paying Anaheim taxes here. That's about it.
All I remember from my honeymoon is driving and the traffic going the other way. People were just getting out of their car. That's how bad the traffic was.
Yeah. I think Toronto is second or third to LA or LA and New York.
Yeah,
traffic.
people talk about Toronto being bad. It is bad. It is extraordinarily bad.
It's not LA.
It's not. It's just not. And they don't know how to drive.
Not like
I
St. Louis.
said this at the time. I'll say it again. The traffic is bad there because of like the design, but also just the drivers are terrible. They don't know what they're doing. New York has bad traffic because there's just so many people.
But they're good drivers.
Amazing drivers.
Yeah.
They're so good. They get shit done. LA, no one knows what the fuck
But
they're doing.
they also have the Toronto problem where it's not like highway traffic necessarily. If you're down at the course, just there's no room traffic.
Street to street.
There's
yeah.
just street. There's too many cars parked on the sides of the roads, and there's too many people, and there's too many cars.
And there's like a million. Everything in New York's a one way.
Yeah.
Well, and I told you everything west of Yonge in downtown Toronto is the jungle.
Yeah. That's why I haven't moved to the west end of the city. Like, I looked at houses and stuff over there.
Never.
And it's just as soon as you pass Yonge Street in Toronto, it's like entering a corn maze. It's the most unbelievably tight, and you can't go anywhere, and you can't do anything, and the main arteries are always clogged. Jesse
And
loves
it's
it.
a wonderful city.
Oh,
I
it's
love it.
amazing.
And
It's
getting
tight.
around is a big old pain in the ass.
So I got a question for you. Is Edmonton losing its mind, or are we getting played?
I would love to know where this is coming
And
from.
by Edmonton, I mean several people that wrote things this week. And I'm not talking about the team. Let's start with Mark Spector. You know Mark. Tell me if he's just playing with people here. Because I think sometimes Mark Spector's just playing. He seems like the kind of guy that just likes to fuck with you.
Well, Adam,
Alex
let's find out.
Chasen. 14 goals.
Jason season.
Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle have a combined 14 goals. That's his tweet.
Chase on 14 goals. Eberle Hall combined 14 goals. Wow.
Now,
That's Mark kicking the shit out of the bee's nest.
he's just stirring up trouble, right?
Yes.
And he's having fun with the replies.
yes.
I get that. Mark gets it. Mark enjoys this a
Mark
little
is
bit.
not so dumb that he doesn't know that Spooner and Strome. And let's talk about the guys those two were traded for, and not
How are
the
they doing?
diamond in the rough. Where was the Mark Spector article going? We need Alex Chason now, yesterday. Pick up the goddamn phone and get Alex Chason. No, I think he was just messing with them. There's another one that I think you're gonna read.
Oh.
that was shocking.
Was this the Edmonton Sun article?
Oh, baby, you read
Terry
it.
Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know Terry Jones. Do you know Terry Jones?
I've never met Terry Jones.
No, but like, have you seen his work before?
I've seen his work. It's got a couple unfortunate tweets.
The title of the article, Jesse, if you haven't seen this, is "He's Back." Edmonton Oilers GM Peter Chiarelli looking like a resident genius.
Oh God.
And, we give Edmonton fans a hard time for this, but I got to give them A+ marks on the responses to this article. Phenomenal. Because
Okay.
nobody's buying it. Nobody is buying that.
You sure Sun Readers don't buy it?
Well, I don't think Sun Readers Online would buy it, but Sun Readers are probably not online.
I can't get it on my damn phone. It's a Sun Reader.
I'm still putting $1 in the machine and opening it up and might grab an extra paper for my friend.
You know what? I'm
even
not going
though
to rip
they
on those
get-
people. They're supporting an industry. How dare you, Adam? What did
I
he
remember
say?
those boxes where you actually take the paper out. That's the thing that used to happen.
Remember, there was always that kid in your school who's like, I can break these, and they'd be like slamming it and trying to
Yeah.
get it open, and they never could.
What was stopping you from just taking every paper?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Literally, you can
Honor
take
system.
Well, it's like it doesn't open all the way. Most of them, but like you could
the
literally
thing
take
No,
is-
them
the
all.
one at the Rouge Hill GO station.
It was.
Just open the whole. You
The
could just be
way-
like, I feel like 20 papers today.
The interesting thing about that is it actually worked out in favor of the newspaper when you did that. And this sounds ridiculous, but they weren't making money off the dollar you put in the machine. They're making money off advertising. So if there's more papers in circulation, they can say, hey, we've got all these papers in circulation.
Yeah.
Extra.
Even if one guy took every newspaper in the city, oh, well, we're up.
That's crazy.
They just tell their advertisers, hey, this box, we lost 80 papers. Well, somebody took 80 papers and we got all the money.
They wouldn't even say that. They would just say, our circulation is X.
Well, because the advertiser doesn't care what money you made from the box. They just care that the paper's gone.
The 80 papers went out.
They want, how many eyeballs am I going to see?
Yeah.
An exact science, but it was a great way to boost your advertising revenue.
What did Terry Jones say?
Terry Jones says this. For an entire calendar year, Peter Chiarelli has been the combination of village wart carrier and village idiot. I don't know what a wart carrier, as in somebody with warts that would give it to you.
Did he misspell water carrier?
He said wart carrier. No. Peter Chiarelli cannot be his own water carrier.
Well, that was very confusing. Not a good start, Terry.
Friday night at Rogers Place, almost everywhere you look. The Edmonton Oilers.
Jesse? Oh.
I'm not going to read it.
Oh, heavens. Nope, we're not. Nope.
What happened?
Go ahead.
Okay.
The first word was genital.
Well, yeah, that's
the warts he was talking about.
That would be generally where you would think it would be from.
I didn't think he was
I
going
have
that
had warts
way.
on my fingers before, though, when I was a kid.
I thought it was like a...
Adam, you just need to trudge forward, I think, with this one.
Yeah, keep going.
Did you ever have them on your fingers?
No.
No?
That's what I thought.
Not fun. Friday night at Rogers Place, almost everywhere you look, the Edmonton Oilers general manager appeared to be the resident genius.
Genius!
It was a night when Chiarelli's major moves combined together to create a storyline of a game and, indeed, the season to this point. First, of course, there was Coach Ken Hitchcock. I almost called him Hen Kitchcock.
Ken Hitchcock.
Then there was $2.5 million mistake. I called it that. Mikko Koskinen keeping
absolutely.
a clean sheet for most of the night, while the Oilers methodically went to work on the last place Philadelphia Flyers. Come on, Terry.
Come on.
And then there was the GM's other offseason acquisition, Alex Chason, scoring to give the Oilers a 1-0 lead that became 3-0 in the second period and ended up being 4-1, with Connor McDavid scoring his second goal of the night and 19th of the season into an empty net, as he and both Leon Draisaitl made it a 3-point night. With the win, the Oilers moved into a 3-way tie for second place in the Pacific Division.
Hell yeah.
The worst division in hockey, by the way.
And hottest.
With the San Jose Sharks and Anaheim Ducks with 39 points in 33 games.
Wait. Oh, my God. Yo, what if the Sharks miss the playoffs?
Well, somebody actually requested that we talk about them because Martin Jones has just been horrendous. Did you see yesterday? 3 goals on 3 shots?
Yeah, he got pulled.
Oh,
and then they came back and won.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, they won the game.
You wanted
After
the Oilers to
pulling
be in
Martin Jones.
contention at Christmas? You can't get much more in contention than that. As the days count down on the final month of 2018, Chiarelli is getting close to the point of restoring public confidence in his ability. It's not to the point where he could say, I don't know, trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and not have ghosts of Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle and Griffin Reinhart revisit in a spectacular firestorm some sort of way. But Edmonton has been close to the point of recognizing the fact that Chiarelli has engineered himself the front end of a comeback season. Ugh.
You need, 2 hot weeks?
It's
that
only
city?
been 12 games, man.
It's just so sad. It's just so sad. And, we have fun with it often because it is probably the most fun Twitter market to watch from afar. Mm-hmm. Don't get involved. You'll die. But to watch it from afar is absolutely hilarious. But, dude, I didn't I say it last show? They all must have the arms of Popeye. All the water that they carry. Just firemen walk. Everyday farmers walk.
There's an interesting line, Steve, that I think you'll like.
Oh, hell yeah. Bring it on. I need a diet. Diet of just this and only this.
Anyway, he goes through a bunch of stats saying the Oilers are improved, which they are.
Oh, yeah.
They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They deserve that credit. Anyway, you get the idea. It took all year, but in the middle of December, do we dare suggest that Chiarelli has succeeded in winning the town back? And I saw several tweets take that quote and go, no.
No. No. Also, there were 2 quotes in there. So that final one, do we dare say that he's winning the town back? And then there's one, he's close to winning back the favor of... What? I understand that this is a column, but it's... whether it's a column or a news story, that's... based on nothing. It's a nonsense sentence. What? Where did you hear this from? Like, how many fans were like, fuck yeah, Peter Chiarelli? Did you hear it from anyone?
I don't think so.
You getting something out of this?
That's the thing. Like, it's if I'm going to write this article, to me, it's the story is Chiarelli's back from the brink. Like, this is saving him.
Okay, like, listen, he's had a great few weeks in the sense that we were literally saying he needs to be fired now, and we're not really having that conversation anymore because it's a little bit ridiculous to fire a GM in the middle of a crazy hot streak. But, like, what are we praising him for? Firing the coach he hired?
And getting lucky?
Like, yeah, man. Like,
Goes to show, though.
He deserves credit for Chason. He deserves
Koskinen.
credit for Koskinen.
Yep. 100%.
A lot of the underlying numbers were better under McClellan.
Every GM you can find two guys he needs credit for. There's no
Brian
there's
Burke
nothing
deserves
there.
credit for Jake Gardiner and Morgan Riley.
Wait, though,
Sure.
there were a few teams that had these just you wait situations happening. One was the Islanders, and we talked about that with their PDO, and they've dipped a little bit. The Leafs were riding a bit of a PDO bender. They're still top in the league.
Oh yeah.
By the way, so it might get worse. And it sucked because the bubble, you could sense it was going to burst, and Nylander was coming back. Like, you can't watch the games and tell me Nylander's the reason they've lost 4 or 5. Shut up.
Yeah.
I had a guy leave a message on my video. You should record anytime you're talking about Nylander from your knees. You know what? How much
Wait,
I
what?
like... Oh, first of all, great chirp.
That guy doesn't
Is that a
deserve to be
chirp?
on this show.
No, he doesn't. But I'm sure a lot of people agree with him.
That's awkward. Sorry.
It is super awkward. And also, I might as well, because the blue ball that I sit on is uncomfortable. But I say that Nylander's been great.
You sit on a blue ball.
Yeah, you see, because,
Yes.
3 of them. And, what?
At the disco.
It's a good one.
You don't-
It's a good one.
No, what? No, I sit on, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Listen.
No. The big one.
The way I talk about the happy, positive way I talk about Nylander and being good and not the problem
Making
is a
your
lot
jeans tight.
closer to reality than he's the reason they're losing. Are you thick? Anyway, I can't remember where I was going with
Well,
that.
we're talking about Terry Jones here. I think it's just it's like it.
I don't remember.
I'm just surprised that.
Oh, sorry. The Oilers, the other thing that was bubbling under the surface was they were unlucky.
Yes,
Under
100%.
McClellan, they were unlucky. And they were getting goaltending, but they were still unlucky. And now their luck has sort of leveled off and improved. Their numbers have gotten worse. But their luck
has improved.
has come back to them.
astronomically.
Now, I know hockey's not as simple as that. And Hitchcock's probably got them doing some different things. And they probably feel different about themselves. A lot has changed. However, the numbers suggested this little Oilers hot streak was coming. And this little Leaf slump was coming. And here we are. Just saying. The numbers aren't as crazy as you think.
So Corey Crawford has a concussion.
Oh, just awful. Friggin'.
Poor
I saw someone.
Man, I feel bad for him.
Someone tweeted today, like, I wonder, like, you hope he's fine, but at what point do you seriously consider hanging him up? Like, you want a life after hockey. You got your rings, man. Brutal. Like, I don't know what the extent of the concussion is. Play didn't look very good. Have you seen the play?
Not good.
Yeah, it didn't look very good. Some people were going, oh, bad to worse in Chicago. Man, screw Chicago, screw the Blackhawks. That's horrible news for Corey Crawford. I'm surprised it took us this long to mention it, but I also don't know what there is to say other than it's freaking terrible.
Yeah.
Of all the guys.
Yeah. If I'm him, I'm taking the rest of the season off and really considering things this summer.
No, if
And then
you're
you can-
him, you're a professional athlete, and you're
Yeah.
probably going to want to play next game.
But I bet
brutal.
Chicago could look at that and go, "Don't retire. We'll pay you. Let's put you on LTIR and give us some space."
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're there yet. They need Corey Crawford. If they want any success, they got to have him, but they got to have him at 100%.
Yeah, because I don't think 50% Corey Crawford's going to be enough. Corey Crawford will have to stay on his head. I don't think this team is very deep. Like this is not the Blackhawks are not a Philly situation. They're not. I
like the Flyers on paper.
100%. What and it's both teams need a goalie. healthy goalie.
Yeah.
Man, Chicago's just not a well-built hockey team at this point. They can fix that, and they probably will, because teams tend to hand the Chicago Blackhawks great players.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
it.
Arizona.
The Coyotes are their Ducks.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the I saw the promo for the New Year's Day game, and it's like Boston, Chicago, and it's like Boston with all these great players, and it's like, what do you say about Chicago? Used to be competitive. Like, it's like, what do you say, man? Cam Ward, Stanley Cup winner.
Grudge match of the 2015 Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen, at least on one side. So I just was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. But,
No
Chicago
bueno.
finished last, and they'll still get to play in the next year outdoor game somewhere.
Okay, I'm going to make a prediction, though. Chicago always sucks in the outdoor game. Their last place,
They win.
they're going to win.
Interesting.
Well, almost last place.
Ooh, I like that.
They're not even last in the West.
Now I got
you never know, they might make it.
Now I got a reason to watch.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Looking at the standings now, like the haves and have-nots are really starting to separate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few, like the Flyers, I keep saying, like, if they get some goaltending. No, they're cooked. They're done.
28 points. They're 10 back of the second wild card spot.
Yeah, no, that's too many. That's a lot of points, man.
We're also only 31 games in. 33 for some teams.
There's a lot of games left, man, but that's a lot
50
of points.
games. Quarter of the way in. I don't know.
No, more than a quarter.
More than a quarter, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Come
That's
on.
like
up
a
on
quarter
half,
and a
actually.
dime in.
That was one of my favorite things from the Dubas thing today.
Cents.
Oh,
A
Adam,
quarter and a dime. That was pretty good.
that was pretty good. I'm
That's
actually,
not bad.
I'm very proud of my friend Adam on that one. I'm very proud. No, Paul Hendrick was like, "Well, Kyle, we're at the halfway mark of the season," and he goes, "Are we?" Oh wow, came up very fast, faster than I thought.
We kind of are.
No,
Not
we're
yet.
we're still a few weeks away.
10 games
We're an
away.
Oilers hot streak away from
We're
Yeah.
at
the point of the
least
season.
5 Blackhawks outdoor games away from being the halfway mark.
It's true.
Are there other ones? Like, I haven't heard anything about
There's
the outdoor
two.
games. There's
two
two.
this year. There's the Winter Classic and then the Stadium Series.
What's that one?
What is
Pittsburgh, Philly.
the difference?
Is it?
Yeah, Battle of Pennsylvania.
All
That's
right.
cool. But what is the difference?
The Winter Classic is the New Year's Day game. And
The
then
hangover
Stadium
game.
Series is the we made this up because we want more money. That's the other game.
Ah.
Hard to blame them.
Yes.
Hey, listen, I don't hate capitalism. Good for them.
yeah,
whatever.
if you got a team name that hasn't been taken yet, just squat on it. Make some money.
Straight
Adam's
up.
in support of you.
Two-packed.
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 Now, we're gonna do something in the press conference today.
No, not today. I have too many.
Oh!
We don't have time. We're already
We don't
at-
have time.
We're almost
Bachelor
at 2
Day-
hours.
Bachelor. Okay, next one.
Yeah,
We
you
will
got
do
to
it
give me
before
like
Christmas.
half an hour. They're
Okay,
good.
sorry. I
Oh,
didn't-
wow. So Friday.
Yeah, if we got time. Like if
No,
there's-
we'll make time.
If there's hockey stuff,
we'll
we'll
make
do
time.
that as priority. Also, Friday, there's no work the next day, so we can stay up as long as we want.
Yeah, exactly. And also,
No rules.
So here's the deal. Normally we take a couple weeks off around Christmas, but because I'm not working, and that was a real cough, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not as burnt out as I normally am. Jesse and Steve are probably, but we're not going to take off.
I'm
as
trying
much
not to
time.
sound tired today, but
We're
I'm
gonna probably
bagged.
do. We're gonna probably do between.
Let's do next week off, and then we'll just do one episode like on the Sunday or something.
Yeah.
You know?
So we'll
That
figure
makes
it out.
sense.
But basically,
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
Christmas is on the Tuesday, right?
Yeah. That's
So
what I'm
normally
saying.
we do like a couple best ofs over 2 weeks. This time we're just gonna take the 1 week, and then we'll come back
Yeah.
full force.
Yeah.
Man, this season's just been going by so fast.
It has.
Because
It's
when
been
you were
unbelievable.
like, oh, yeah, we'll take next week off, I'm like, but it's
Next-
the 10th.
Yeah, 9 days till Xmas, bro.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
Christmas is
That was
right
over
there.
a week ago. Shit, I should go shopping. I bought some stuff. I got more to buy.
My wife said something to me the other day. We sound old when I say my wife. I
My
gotta
wife!
I just say Caprice. So she said, what did she say to me the other day? And I was like, I better get on my Christmas shopping game. And she was like, I'm stressed out about the gifts I got you. I'm like, why? I'm like, don't get me anything. What do I need? Like, we have a kid on the way. Like, let's save the money for the kid. And she's like, no, but she's
Get
like,
me a crib.
She said, you do so much. I just really want you to have a great Christmas. And I was like,
Your heart.
I'm going to spend all the money.
Your
I'm going to
feelings.
spend all the money now.
See, that's manipulative. She did that shit on purpose.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but it works. Whatever it was.
Yeah, it works.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. That woman is getting a great damn Christmas.
Oh.
She deserves it. She's carrying my child. It aligned my focus. I don't know why I didn't have it before, but I have it now.
Hope she's a vegetarian, because Adam's going to get her a lot of carrots. See?
See, that's the
That
one
doesn't
thing.
work. You don't have to be a vegetarian and eat carrots.
Yeah, you do.
Your joke didn't land.
No, it's so good.
Amelia Earhart of jokes over here.
Oh my God!
Man, it's old enough that it's okay.
That's funny.
It's the
Too
Hindenburg of
soon.
jokes. Hindenburg of jokes.
Also too soon.
It was 100 years ago, man. Come on.
I can
soon.
make fun of
Oh,
Amelia
no. Their
Earhart.
great-grandkids might be offended by a show they'll never hear.
They probably have Twitter.
Good.
Yeah.
Come on.
They're gonna sub-like something mean about you.
I'm sure. I'm sure Paul Marner's gonna be like,
Are you allowed to make Titanic jokes, Steve? Like, are we? Is any?
There's Titanic blow up like bouncy castles.
No.
Have you ever look it up? Type in Titanic bouncy castle. Yeah, enough time has passed. That's over 100 years.
yeah, come on.
What was that? 1912.
It autofills on Google. It's a thing. That's awesome.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
Jesse,
That's so.
can we do a press conference? Let's do one.
can I close by reading a tweet?
Is this the press conference?
Yeah, this will be the press conference.
Okay.
It's a tweet by John Boyce, Bois. I think I got that right.
Blah.
He says, "It's not Shakespeare or anything, but I do feel like the person writing copy for Big Bang Theory belt buckles in the CBS online store deserves recognition. They could have mailed it in, but they really did the best they could." Let me read you the Big Bang Theory E = MC squared belt buckle description.
Belt buckle.
Like a belt buckle, like a big
You can buy a
Texas guy.
Big Bang Theory belt buckle.
It says E = MC squared on it.
Big
And
buckle theory.
Inscribed in the buckle is Big Bang Theory. There it is. It is on sale right now.
$4.
For $4.97.
Man, American
after
sales are the best.
Retailing for $49.99.
Man, if you paid $50 for that, what an asshole
if,
you are.
If like 2 weeks ago,
like
you paid $50.
You're like, I got the best gift ever. You wouldn't believe it's only $50.
Save 90%. Bazinga. Oh my God.
Right?
Even young Sheldon thinks that that's a ripoff.
So if you bought this at full face value, you got ripped off hard.
That sucks.
Yeah. Now they're charging $5 for it. And the description of the belt says, with the Big Bang Theory E = MC squared belt buckle, your pants can fight against the force of gravity with Einstein's most famous equation. The simple buckle features the mass energy equivalence in a rectangular design that makes it easy for even the simplest minds to keep one's pants at the appropriate
Are you
level.
reading a description this long for? It's a belt buckle.
Yo, I respect this.
Respect this person.
Hold your pants above your sagging ass.
Yo, I
Why
respect
do you?
this.
What's the description?
Is
Well,
that,
you're
is that
writing a
it?
bit.
Or is there more?
No, that's it.
No, I respect that. Good for him. Or
Oh
her.
my
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
The copy
for
editor
them.
who did that. Good
Hey,
for them.
Hey, Bazinga. Get it? It's like the show.
If you're an American, because like in Canada, people freak out over a 20% off sale, which is really just taxes plus 5%.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
In America, you get 60, 70, 80% off. If you are an American, and Americans, please feel free to answer in the comments. Why would you buy anything on not Black Friday or any other sale day? Like,
I think
why
that's
would you
why
ever
people-
pay? Why would you pay full price for anything ever?
That's why
Yeah.
people roundhouse strangers in the throat on Black Friday, I think. Because our sales here are like, hey, you can save a little bit of money. In the States, it's like, we want our store to go goddamn broke. We want to be $40,000 in debt by the end of the week. Come on down.
It's like those bad Buffalo commercials that we always get. We're literally giving it away, and they literally are.
and they give it away.
When I was in high school, my family took a trip down to Pennsylvania to the Grove City outlets.
Ooh,
And that
I've been there.
That weekend, just in the entire state, was no tax weekend. So everything ever in the state that weekend just had no tax on
Oh,
it.
look, it's an Ontario plate. And an Ontario plate. Here's another Ontario plate.
So we went down there, and half the town is from Canada.
Oh my
So it was
God.
pretty awesome. But yeah, those are the things that happen in America. No
a-
tax weekend.
a lineup around the block for the Olive Garden. Just go, we barely have any of these here.
I remember going to the King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia, and it was just like you walk in, and there's no. It's just in the middle of summer, right? There's no reason that any store would have a sale. And my mom and I counted because
Bullshit, America.
It was like almost every store had at least 50% off most things.
They love it.
Why?
They love it. I still
It's
remember
amazing.
we stopped somewhere in Pennsylvania. We did a New York. Were you on the music trip in grade 11? We went to New York.
No.
No,
That's when you met Papoose, right?
that's when I met Papoose on the street corner, and I bought his mixtape. No, we stopped in Pennsylvania on the way back, and I bought a pair of jeans for $39. And I go, "How much is it?" And the lady just looks at me, and she's like, $39. I'm like, "But how much is it?" And she goes, $39. I was, what?
Oh, yeah, there's no tax.
And it just did not register with me. I was like, how do you pay for things? How do you function? How do you have a state?
Mexico pays for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mexico will pay for our jeans. Make those jeans. Wait, what? I was going to say build those jeans. I didn't understand. You listen.
Lock those jeans up. Lock those jeans. I don't know.
Lock those.
America, yours is a fascinating trip.
It's a wild trip, man.
Yeah.
By the way, I
don't
didn't
get how
know
it
this, and it was Jesse that sort of pointed this out. Did you know that in Canada, the only way to fly within Canada is on a Canadian airline?
Really?
I didn't know that, but
I guess that's the only way I've ever done it.
That's been legislation in Canada for like decades, and
That's
that's
law?
that's why it's so expensive to fly within Canada.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't,
Yeah.
all the Canadian airlines would just disappear.
Dude, so I didn't have to pay for this, thank God. But my first flight, which was with Nike, it was to Regina, and it was a day trip. So if you're flying in and out one day, they know it's for business, so I think they jack up the price. You know how much it was? Go ahead and guess.
I'm going to say round trip or one way.
Round trip.
$1,000.
And this
To
is
where?
in January, it was in December. Toronto to Regina, Saskatchewan in December.
Oh God, at least $1,000.
$1,800.
Whoa. Jesus.
Yeah, if you fly out to Toronto to Vancouver, it's absurd.
At least Vancouver is 5.5 hours
it
away.
shouldn't be-
No, and it shouldn't be that expensive.
I paid
can do that in a
$1,800 to go
day.
to Halifax.
That's
from Toronto.
crazy.
And if you were to go, the equivalent would be like Minneapolis to Boston. That's $100 flight.
Oh yeah.
And like, or London, England to Brussels. Like that's the same distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 50-pound flight.
50 pound.
Like it's
Quib.
Listen,
Quid.
Canada's a great country, but there's some
Why do they
stuff.
call it that?
There's some stuff and some things that are a little frustrating, but that's just what happens.
Oh.
No country's perfect.
Every tribe is a fascinating one.
Absolutely. Do we have anything else that we need to say before we go?
Oh, I didn't know that was a law. That's so strange.
Friday's
know
the Christmas episode, so bring your gift.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I didn't get you guys
'Cause
shit.
Tuesday's
Fuck, I didn't get you
Christmas.
guys anything
Oh.
yet.
Yeah, neither did I, so that's why I brought it up.
Actually, I do have one thing for you guys. Mrs. Dangle ordered it. Thank you, Mrs. Dangle.
Is it your book?
Shit! No. No.
Imagine.
Please return.
No. You guys have to pay for that. No.
I am going to buy the
Yeah,
audiobook.
you are.
I'm doing the audiobook.
I want a hardcover.
People were saying they want a...
Why would you want a hardcover, by the way?
Because it's
I
not
don't know.
available.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone's...
There was
That's what
great,
I'm asking
by the way,
for.
I got a bunch of great responses to people going like why they're hardcover and why they're softcover, which was great. But what I don't know is why you want a hardcover, because it just seems to take more room and it's heavier.
And that's like your number one thing you hate is
hate
room. I just
room.
need more room. Here, take the shit.
I just don't want anything. Don't give me stuff.
Adam convinced me that my name was Here, Take This. Adam, didn't you try to give me something I gave you?
Yes.
You did. You gifted
yeah,
the
you
mini
gifted
stick
it.
set.
I
Yeah.
tried to give Steve back a gift that he gave me. He gave me mini sticks, and I think at the time,
a
And like
Oh,
not
yeah.
as a bit.
That's a
no,
little
I just
embarrassing,
forgot who
Adam.
gave them to me and tried to give them to the one guy I knew who might like mini sticks, and it was
A little
you.
embarrassing.
I wasn't trying to be a jerk, man. I just don't like
And
stuff.
like it was a heartfelt
I just
gift
was
because
a
I was
jerk.
like, remember that time we played mini sticks? Nope. 2-packed. He just didn't care.
Can't you rent these somewhere? I don't need them forever.
Rent mini sticks.
Listen, man.
What a niche
I
company.
am all about not owning stuff.
You know there's some American company right now. We'll rent you a mini stick for -$2. We want to be broke.
We will pay you to take our mini
We'll
sticks.
pay you. We're literally giving it away.
Come on down to
not
Mike's
clever
Mini
enough.
Stick Barn in Cheektowaga.
Where is Cheektowaga?
Outside of Buffalo.
Upstate New York.
That's right.
Where's Kalamazoo?
That's a good question.
Podcast is over.
Is it?
Yeah.
Forever?
Where's Chattanooga?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.